Well, Thursday night in Stillwater, where the Cowboys are hoping to heat things up against Colorado. Zac Robinson, Oklahoma State leader, took a vicious hit against Texas Tech last week, will not be able to go. In his stead, Alex Cate steps in to direct the Cowboys offense. Dan Hawkins, the embattled Buffalo coach, comes in trying to finish his season on a feel-good note. Tyler Hansen gives the Buffs a little bit of a running threat, but he's still thrown more interceptions than touchdown passes. And the Buffs trying to get things going in the house T-Boone built and bought. Coming up.
Tonight, last home game as a group. Let's have fun tonight, fellas. Let's go. Hey, win on three. 1, 2, 3. Win! Put it in their mouth!
And welcome to Thursday Night College Football, presented by Applebee's. Tonight, we take you to the Big 12. Oklahoma State trying to keep its hopes alive of being a BCS at-large invitee, taking on Colorado. Technically, the Pokes are still mathematically alive in the Big 12 South, albeit a highly unlikely scenario in which they would have to win out and Texas would have to lose out. Not going to happen, but the Pokes can take care of their own business. Glad to have you with us, Reese Davis, alongside Lou Holtz and Mark May. And tonight, as we mentioned off the top, no Zac Robinson for Oklahoma State. But, Lou, you've talked about this a couple of times. Really, the Oklahoma State defense, with a couple of exceptions, has improved over the course of the year.
Oh, Bill Young's done a tremendous job. But we said that before the season. I thought he'd do a great job with the defense. But, ladies and gentlemen, I love to watch this game. I'm really excited. Why? Because in November, there's two types of teams. Those that have a chance to really do something special, like an Oklahoma State. They can go on and win 10, 11 games. On the other hand, the other type of teams, they aren't going anywhere. The only chance they have to enjoy this season is to ruin somebody else's season, and Colorado can put a real damper on Oklahoma State, and particularly without Zac Robinson, Mayday.
And I'm interested to see Alex Cate, the quarterback, play in this Mike Gundy offense, because without Zac Robinson, he is their playmaker on offense. Not only throwing the ball as a quarterback, but using his legs and picking up yardage. He's this team's second leading rusher, and without him, it's going to be interesting to see with Mike Gundy's offense how Alex Cate can come and direct this football team to a victory. It's not going to be easy. If this team wins their last 2 games, they've got a chance for a BCS.
They certainly do. There's no question about it. They would travel well, so a lot of the bowls, it would be a very attractive situation to bring Oklahoma State in. You know, in the preseason, Zac Robinson was viewed in some quarters as perhaps a dark horse Heisman candidate. Now, he's not going to win the award this year. Ballots are in the hands of the electors now, and really still a bit of an open race as you start. Wouldn't you like that? We're counting down to kickoff in Stillwater, Colorado, and Oklahoma State. They're getting set as they try to keep their BCS hopes alive.
ESPN's College Football Primetime, brought to you by Dr. Pepper. The Coach's Trophy, presented by Dr. Pepper, will be awarded to the 2010 BCS National Champion, Windows Phone. To have your say on college football, text 140 to the number 4ESPN. That's 43776. And TD Ameritrade.
Welcome to Stillwater, Oklahoma. ESPN's College Football Primetime, presented by Applebee's, the big brick house that Boone Pickens built here. And it's senior night for the sizable senior class of the 12th-ranked Oklahoma State Cowboys. A lot to play for Oklahoma State. Win 2 games, hope that Texas wins out, gets to the BCS championship game, and Oklahoma State will be headed for the Fiesta Bowl. It's all there in front of them. The obstacle tonight, of course, is Colorado. Chris, Craig, Jesse, Aaron will join us. And the big story, as the guys in the studio told you, Zac Robinson here on senior night, the all-time leader in passing yards, total offense, and touchdown passes, can't go because of a shoulder injury. They're quite secretive around here about this. It was a head injury as well. Boom, the big hit late in the win over Texas Tech. Robinson cleared all the concussion tests, but that right shoulder just not good to go. He's hopeful to be back for Bedlam, the visit to Norman next week. But he's out tonight, and guys, they've taken their hits around here with Des Bryant's suspension, Kendall Hunter out for 5 games. But is this a much bigger deal, Jesse, not have Robinson tonight?
Oh, there's no question about that. Oklahoma State losing Zac Robinson is just deadly for this football team because he is the nucleus of this offense. But it means junior Alex Cate gets to start tonight at quarterback. And a lot like Zac Robinson, Alex Cate's very athletic. He can make a lot of plays with his legs. Unlike Zac Robinson, Alex Cate has not yet attempted a pass this season. So you'd expect Oklahoma State to run the football, help out their inexperienced quarterback. But this is a defensive Colorado that loves to give pressure, which means that Alex Cate's going to have opportunities on the outside of the field to make big throws downfield. He needs to take advantage of those tonight, Craig. Otherwise, they're going to have a hard time moving the football.
Absolutely, but don't you get the sense that when you talk with this team, Oklahoma State understands what's at risk here?
Yeah.
A chance to have an at-large burst in the BCS. I mean, they're well ready for this football game. I would put the pressure on the defense. Yeah. Bill Young and his defense, they're outstanding. They've done a nice job. First year here at Oklahoma State, he's come in here and he's created a sense of simplicity. They understand what they're doing on each and every play. So they play hard, they get after it. They've got a great defensive back in Parrish Cox. This is one of only 8 defenses in the country that have not allowed a 100-yard rusher against them. So if Colorado tries to play smash mouth, I think Oak State's ready for it.
So Oklahoma State out there for the coin toss, and Mike Gundy on the field with Aaron Andrews.
Thanks, Chris. Coach, Zac Robinson out with the shoulder injury. What is the extent of his injury?
Well, we just didn't feel like that his head had cleared up enough and that his shoulder was well enough in order to compete in this game. So we're going to let him set this one out, and difficult for him, but we're looking forward to the next guy, Alex Cate, stepping up and making plays.
With Alex coming in, what is key for your offense now tonight?
We're going to run our system, and I mean, we'll be a little different because Zac's got so much experience, but we have to run our offense. He's been here a while, so I'm really looking forward to watching him play.
What was the message to your team, knowing that your senior quarterback is going to spend the game on the sidelines?
Well, there's 11 guys on the field at once, and this is a team concept, and so it's important for them to go out and play hard and just play the game.
Thank you for your time. Thanks. Chris?
Aaron, thank you. They have been the best rushing team in the Big 12 each of the last 4 years. On the other side, the only story that seems to matter at Colorado these days is the status of the embattled Dan Hawkins, 16-31, closing out his 4th season. Support eroding. The potential buyout money, raising that, not a problem. And it would appear that the end is near. Hawkins spinning things positively, as he always does, doing things the right way in Boulder, except for the wins and losses. Pleasant evening here in Stillwater, Oklahoma. 55 degrees, just a slight breeze on senior night, as the Cowboys wear the all-black for the first time since 2004. Slight redesign to the helmet, too. It's a black OSU as opposed to the orange. Oklahoma State won and deferred. Colorado will take the football, and we'll see, guys, if this Buffalo offense, which has been one of the slowest starting in the country, 27 points scored in 10 games in the first quarter, if they can get something going early, because Hawkins always harps on it. It's crucial.
Maybe I'm the guy that's been the reason of hope for this football game for Colorado coming in. But I think Thursday night football, national TV, this offense, this team, I expect them to start early, Jesse.
This team still has a lot of pride, and they understand right now they are 3-7, but they're playing on national television. They're playing against a ranked opponent tonight. Lots of pride for this football team. They want to make a statement tonight.
Quinn Sharp, very good kickoff, guys. Also the punter, more than half his kickoffs touchbacks. That's unheard of in the days of the 30-yard kickoff. Boots it deep, and it's into the end zone. Or Brian Lockridge, the sophomore, will bring it out. Spins out of the tackle, but doesn't make the 15. So poor field position for Tyler Hansen, the guy who replaced Cody Hawkins, started the last 5 games. They've gone 2-3, and he comes off back-to-back 300-yard total offense games.
He's really looked good now in the last 2 weeks, but Tyler Hansen provides big plays opportunities for this offense. He's a bit of a better runner, more mobile than Cody Hawkins was, but he's got a bigger arm, so there's more throws that he can make downfield.
Cody Hawkins, the junior, supplanted by Hansen, who's able to escape the pass rush, and offensive line has been very porous for Colorado this season. It's been a big problem. It's not Rodney Stewart, the normal starter, but Demetrius Sumler in there, a tailback to the right of Hansen, who's throwing on first down, and it's incomplete, trying to get to Dre Simmons on the sidelines. Impact players for Colorado. We'll see Stewart very soon, I would imagine, number 5.
Well, Rodney Stewart is the most explosive player on this Colorado offense. A little guy, but he runs real tough. If he gets in the secondary, he's gone because he is fast.
Here's a tough guy as well. Scotty McKnight caught a pass in every game that he's played as above 35 consecutive. Has to be dependable.
And Marcus Simas has had back-to-back 100-yard games. They need big impact plays from him as well. Sumler still in the game on 2nd and 10. Hansen flips it back. It's a screen. And Sumler takes a block, takes a blow across the 25-yard line. In the setup, 3rd and short. Patrick Levine, 4-year starter, one of the 22 seniors on this team, including 15 starters on senior night.
You know what? This is a defense that, as the season has come along and gone along, Bill Young has really taken them, simplified it, and he's made it where they play fast and hard.
Back at his alma mater. Well-traveled defensive coordinator. He was at Miami last year, Kansas 2 years ago. And first down, Hansen flips it in the flat. And the catch is made. Short gain there. And Simas.
Now, going back to Bill Young, the last 4 years here at Oklahoma State, the defense was the weak link of this football team. In fact, they had never finished a season in the last 4 years ranked better than 89th in the country in total defense. But Bill Young has come in, he's implemented a system like you were talking about, Craig, and right now, giving up 334 yards a game, that's 32nd best in the country. There's been a big improvement.
The first penalty of the night for Colorado. Bryce Givens, the freshman.
On the offense. Number 77, 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
He's been penalty prone, had 2 crucial 15-yard penalties when Colorado had a 1st and goal at the 1-yard line. Hand to the face, then an unsportsmanlike, moved him back to the 30, missed a field goal. Huge point in that narrow loss in Ames.
You know, that's just a deal, Jesse, as a player. You know you got to be responsible. Have your head on right.
No question, no question.
McKnight in motion, play action on 2nd and 8. Hansen taking a shot downfield, but it's way over the head of Simas. Terrence Anderson in coverage. Not close.
This offense has to rely on big plays. They started this drive on their own 15-yard line. For the season, Colorado has had 40 drives started on their own 20 or inside that. They've only scored twice.
Yeah, 1 field goal, 1 extra point. That's crazy. I mean, or 1 field goal touchdown. But you know what happens when you have a false start there? You go from 2nd and in front of the chains to now you got to throw the ball down the field and try to make something happen. That's why you start slow. Knucklehead plays.
Empty backfield, 5 receivers for Hansen on 3rd and 8. Cowboys show a 3-man front. Here comes the delayed blitz. Hansen gets rid of it, but it's short of a 1st down. Simas catching an immediate hit there by Markel Martin, the safety. So here comes a punt.
You just get the feeling tonight Colorado is going to have to play so disciplined. They cannot afford penalties because their margin of error is so small right now.
The dangerous Parrish Cox, excellent corner, a kick and punt returner. Hasn't taken one to the end zone yet this year. He received the punt of Matt Galala. Short kick. Cox at the 33. Spins. Tries to get the corner, and Parrish Cox cuts it back inside. Bye-bye. $67 yards. Talked to him yesterday. He was hungry to find the end zone. Been close on a couple of punt and kick returns. Said all we need is 1 extra block, 1 better read of the block, and I'm going to get there. And he just got there.
I think the one thing that you notice about Parrish Cox is the person who comes down never gets an initial hit on him. His ability to move sideways is outstanding. That gets him the clearance, and then he's got the foot speed.
Dan Bailey, perfect on extra points. Stays that way. So the last thing that an embattled road underdog needs, a special teams touchdown from Oklahoma State. And so they'll go back to work down 7 after the electrifying touchdown from Parrish Cox. Parrish Cox has become an excellent corner. He's a Thorpe Award semifinalist, but he's always been a gifted returner. That's where he initially made his impact here in Stillwater. 6th touchdown return of his career, but again, finally getting on the board this season. He'll meet with the Thorpe Award folks on Sunday. That's an award based down the road in Oklahoma State. Hopes to become the short list of finalists for that award. There's another deep kickoff by Quinn Sharp, and this time, well, bring it out again. Brian Lockwood's going to try the center of the field. Able to get past the first wave, fights hard to get to the 21-yard line. This has been the problem for Colorado. The vast majority of the minutes trailing this season. Rarely have they been able to have and hold a lead.
I was expecting coming into this game with them running for nearly 300 yards the last 2 weeks that they come out running the ball. You've seen Hansen throwing it, so he's trying to loosen up that defense a little bit.
Isn't that the perfect thing when you got a backup quarterback starting? Alex Cate, the minute he takes the field, they're going to have the lead probably, huh? Hansen again throwing on first down. It's a short completion to Ryer Gear, the tight end. Typically a big part of the offense, and Donald Booker, the senior linebacker, knew that.
Well, you're going to see this a lot tonight from Colorado. They are going to move the pocket. They've given up 38 sacks this year. That's 4th worst in the nation. Eric Keesaw, the offensive coordinator, is going to move the pocket, set up quick throws to try to give his young quarterback an opportunity.
Rodney Stewart, the top tailback for Colorado, now in the game on 2nd and 7. Hansen, pressure off the edge, can't get away. Hugo Chinasa got him, and a Buffalo quarterback sacked for the 39th time this year. It's the 4th for Chinasa.
You just mentioned that about the sacks allowed and everything. Look at the outside. That's an extra guy. He's coming. You've got to come in here. That's the 20th sack now by Oklahoma State this year. Last year, they only had 15 in 13 games.
There was a bust on that play by right tackle Bryce Givens. He slid down the line and actually double-teamed the tackle, which allowed Chinasa to come free as a defensive end.
Crowd getting loud on 3rd and 19. McKnight in motion. Flag down as Hansen rolls to his left. And sacked again. This time the other end. Jeremiah Price got him. And check the flag.
Legal shift on the offense. Penalties decline. Both out.
So another punt, and the problems protecting the passer continue for CU.
It's just not recognition up front, and also the fact, you know, Jesse, Hansen's got to get rid of this football at some point.
Well, he needs some help downfield. I was watching Scotty McKnight work a route down the sideline. That play took forever to develop, and it did not look like the wide receivers had a sense of urgency to try to get open.
Price beat Behrens and Stewart. He beat 2 running backs to get to the quarterback there. Galalo gets it away. The first punt, low, short, and down the middle. Those are 3 bad things. Cox takes it near midfield. Retreats and gets dropped for a loss on the return. That's a nice play by Corey Neighbors. So now we'll finally see Alex Cate, the junior out of Salt Lake City. It's his 4th year in the program. Played briefly last year in mop-up, just 4 of 5 passing, and, you know, hasn't thrown a pass yet this season.
Well, he had a chance in mop-up duty to play earlier in the year in a 56-6 blowout of Grambling State, but on the first play in the game, he got knocked out with a blow to the head, so he has not had a lot of experience this year.
Figure to see a lot of this. Handoff to Keith Toston, who loses the ball, and Colorado has it. So the very first offensive play for the Pokes, Toston puts it on the ground, and Colorado takes over in plus territory. Marcus Burton, middle linebacker, came up with the ball.
You know what? Early in the game now, you got to be able to hold on to the football. He gets punched out, and it's just not good ball handling there. Last week against Texas Tech, Toston had a fumble that was reversed on the goal line going into score. He got lucky that his legs were called down before the fumble occurred.
That's the safety, Anthony Perkins, coming up and poking that football out, giving their team now good field position, get the offense back on the field.
Colorado offense that desperately needed a spark finally has good field position.
They better start running the football.
They haven't had a design run yet. Only the sacks for Hansen. He's throwing again on first down, takes a shot into traffic looking for Gear, and broken up at the 30-yard line by Lucien Antoine. The Haitian-born player didn't Put on football pads till he was 17 years old. Moved to Florida. Went to junior college, came here to Stillwater. He's a big hitter.
And he's a huge hitter. Leads the team with 3 forced fumbles, and they're collision hits. He's not one of those guys that rips it out. He just blows you up, and the ball ends up on the ground.
Does that support the theory that you either have it or you don't?
Yeah, I think so.
He said his friends talked him into playing football. The first time he hit a guy, I like this sport. This is fun. On second down, Hansen back again. It's a screen. And a short gain for Stewart after about 3 yards.
Craig, I'm a little bit surprised right now. I would have anticipated Colorado would have come out and run the football a little bit more, try to get physical, particularly all these big zone defenses we're seeing.
And you know what? You're going to have a defense that flies around. They got a very, very agile front defensive line. So they can get out to the short screens on the outside that you're trying to dump the ball off. We've already seen now 2 sacks on the quarterback, and they're pressuring him. I'm with you, man. I would have run the ball, especially at midfield.
On 3rd and 8, Hansen from the pocket delivers a low throw. Not enough for first down yardage. McKnight went to the ground to get it. He's about 2 yards short at the 39.
Yeah, they're going to go tough man here, short yardage goal line situation. I don't blame them either, Jesse. What do you think? I'd go for it. What do you got to lose?
You have nothing to lose right now. You got a quarterback. You're trying to grow confidence in him right now. You're on the road trying to get back in this game. I'm going to say they go ahead and throw this here.
It's Demetrius Sumler, not Stewart, in the game. 2 tight ends. Hansen throwing. And it's complete for a first down. So Jake Behrens, the fullback, came out of the backfield, and he takes it inside the 30.
That's a nice job, and that's a good play call there. You've been throwing the football the whole time. Watch the fullback Behrens in the backfield. You'll see him when he sneaks out of the backfield behind the tackle, and pretty efficient pass there.
Yeah, it's a nice job by Tyler Hansen getting his head turned around really quickly and then drifting on the throw. Still an accurate ball, allowing for the first down.
They fake it to Stewart again. Hansen takes a shot downfield looking for Seamus, who's got it at the 5. So from 4th and 2, they convert it now. Buff's knocking on the door as Paris Cox was beaten by Seamus.
You know, when you talk about Seamus on the right side, you're going to see 2 or 3 bodies that come across the middle of the field, Jesse. So they're flooding the middle with receivers. Seamus gets behind the safety, which should not have happened.
Marcus Seamus and Tyler Hansen were buddies on scout team last year, making a lot of big plays in practice. They've had a connection here this year.
And 1st and goal, finally. Speedy Stewart gets his first carry. Can't get the corner. Coming up was Andrew McGee to knock him down for a 2-yard loss. Red zone had been an area of strength, one of the few for Colorado's offense until the Iowa State game, Jesse. 4 trips inside there, 3 points. That was it.
2 big fumbles by Rodney Stewart on the ground as well. Their best player on offense. Penalties and turnovers killed them against Iowa State. But you're right, this is an area of the field. They've been actually very productive all year.
Cox out of the game. McGee, his replacement, just made that tackle. Hansen, design run. And he got very little. Sumler out front trying to throw a block, but again, McGee the corner. It'll be 3rd and goal.
This was all a result of getting beat on the inside. I think it's Derek Burton, 98 on the inside. You're going to see the pressure that comes from the inside on the quarterback. He misses, so there's no cutback. It forces the play wide. No options to come back inside.
You're going to see a lot of running from Tyler Hansen tonight. Coaching staff told us they have about 8 or 9 designed running plays for him specifically.
Hansen fires across the middle, a touchdown. Scotty McKnight, his 4th of the season. Colorado's able to convert the fumble recovery into a touchdown.
What I love about this is the vision by Tyler Hansen. Sitting in the pocket, he's able to look over the middle of the field. Perfect throw. It's a high straight ball. He's not lobbing this. There's velocity, but he puts it only where Scotty McKnight can catch it.
Eric Goodman trying to tie the game. So a gift from the Pokes. The fumble by Toston sets up CU in plus territory. They convert the 4th and 2, and a couple of nice throws from Tyler Hansen. And this game dead even now.
ESPN's College Football Primetime is presented by Applebee's, it's a whole new neighborhood, and in part by BMW, the ultimate driving machine.
Mascot Pistol Pete, actually based on a real human being. Frank Eaton, U.S. Marshal, back in 1860, born in Perkins, Oklahoma. In the 1920s, they wanted a mascot. It felt like Frank represented what Oklahoma was about. And old Pistol Pete has been a prominent player in some SportsCenter commercials over the years. He needs a shave, but
he freaks me out. He looks one of those, like those characters, those figurines from Claymation.
you get a little shaken up on Pistol Pete?
Yeah, a little nubby cigar. If he had one of those nubby cigars and that bushy face.
Well, this is Cox trying his hand at a kickoff return, and he breaks free. And a crease there is finally tracked down. Jonathan Hawkins. Well, talked about the blows to this Oklahoma State offense. Kendall Hunter hurt. He's missed 6 games. Saw the suspension to Des Bryant. He played 3 games. Still the leading touchdown receiver on this team, but improper contact with an agent. And then these guys feel much more significant, the absence of Zac Robinson, who was injured late in the win over Texas Tech.
Well, and what they're not showing there is Ori Lemon, their best player on defense, tore his ACL right before the season started at middle linebacker. So it's been an incredible year.
So fumble by Toston on the first play. Barrels ahead for 7 yards here. Impact players for Oklahoma State's offense.
Well, Keith Toston is averaging 96 yards per carry. He's the most physical runner in that backfield. They're going to need him to wear this Colorado defense down.
Well, part of that wearing comes from Kendall Hunter. He's an outstanding player and a guy that's been banged up with his ankle, but he's about 100% now.
You've seen Cox with the touchdown return off a 2-pick performance against Texas Tech last time out. And they hand it off to Hunter. He's just now getting back to 100%. Really slow recovery from that ankle. It took a lot longer than doctors originally thought it would.
And he's so explosive. You look back to last year, well over 1,500 yards. He's a first-team All-American, but since that injury, just really hasn't had the burst.
It takes time. You know what? There's a lot to be said about a running back with his offensive line, game condition, timing, burst. Mike Gundy says he still doesn't have quite yet the burst back.
Led the Big 12 in rushing last year as a sophomore. Here's a first down throw. Cate taking a shot downfield against single coverage. And it's overthrown, looking for Hubert Neum, who's picked up the slack without Bryant in there. Jaleel Brown covered.
You know what? Congratulations to Jaleel Brown. The last time we watched this Buffalo secondary play against West Virginia a couple months ago, they couldn't cover anybody deep.
Well, I talked to defensive backs coach Greg Brown, and he said he feels really good about his 2 corners, Jimmy Smith and Jaleel Brown, getting matched up one-on-one on the outside.
We didn't see that, though, a couple months ago, did we?
No, absolutely not.
Well, the bigger problem that night, I think, was the safeties, but you're right, the secondary did not play well. Brown actually got a hand on that pass to break it up. So 2nd and 10 for Alex Cate. It's Toston. He breaks a tackle, and Toston across midfield for a first down. And you see the strength of the 214-pound senior, who's been a loyal guy, a workmanlike, humble guy, waited his turn and is closing in on a 1,000-yard season, but he looks shaken up.
Yeah, he does a little bit. Craig, you got to love this, though. Running inside, keeps the feet pumping. He's going north and south, good pad level.
Play the ball quickly, and Cate shoved out after no gain. So Oklahoma State going up tempo.
Yeah, you know what? You do. You watch him and how he runs. He replaced where the right guard had pulled on that play, but he saw a crease and he went for it. He didn't follow the guard into the hole.
How about Oklahoma State? They were going with that hurry-up offense. I think they saw Colorado trying to substitute players and just try to quicken up the tempo, catch them off guard.
Don't tell me Toston's hurt. Oh. Come on, can there be another thing happen to this Oklahoma State offense?
Wow.
Are you kidding me?
Tempo is what
He's been a steady guy, Craig.
I agree, but the tempo, you can go with Kendall Hunter. Unfortunately, you got to do that, but tempo's what hurt Texas Tech last week before the snap, just what they're doing right there.
Oklahoma State has yet another running back, a guy, Bo Johnson, who's a big physical runner as well. They got a deep stable. Of course, they don't want Toston hurt, but if he was, this guy right here, Bo Johnson, he can get it done.
He's a junior college player. Came out of Lawrenceville, Georgia, went to Butler Community College, won a national championship with that school in Kansas.
What, does he have shoulder pads on?
Look at the little ones, huh?
Man, those are tiny.
I'm not sure what the conversation is here. Conversation perhaps about the number of players on the field.
Second down.
After all that, nothing.
Play ball.
So no gain for Cate on the run.
You've seen the game plan so far for Oklahoma State. Steady dose of running, and when they feel like they got matchups on the outside, they're going to take shots deep downfield.
They're going to have a lot of matchups on the outside. Cover 0. Colorado not a stranger to that. Cate hands it off Hunter. Spins through a tackle and fights to the 45. It'll set up 3rd and 6.
If Colorado can somehow avoid giving up that big play, you know,
that is the thing, isn't it?
It is. It's unbelievable. But it's just, you try to look cute and talk around it, but that's what they do. They give up the big plays.
Well, they gave up 13 plays of 40-plus yards this season, but 8 of those came in the first 5 games. So they've narrowed that margin down. I'd actually argue it's a defense that's feeling pretty confident after last week's game against Iowa State.
They've had their moments, this defense, for sure. Playing hard, even though the offense has struggled. Spins near first down yardage. He's at the Colorado 40. It'll be 4th and a yard. Marcus Burton stopped him just short. And up tempo, Oklahoma State looking to go for it here. Hunter comes out, Toston back in the game. They hold up that chart. They've changed from last year when they had the one big car with all those crazy numbers and letters on there. New system, high tech this year. So DB 34. On 4th down, Toston hit in the backfield, didn't get it. Sean Moeller, who's filling in for the senior Jeff Smart, the top tackler on this Colorado team, out with a pinched nerve, and Moeller makes a big play, and Colorado stops him.
I know, I'm telling you, I know they're 3-7, but I'm telling you, this defense has a swagger about them.
Well, they forced a fumble. Now they stop him on 4th down, and 7-7 Buffs will take over at their own 40. Big play by a backup. Rent-A-Car drive recap. Colorado's last possession, touchdown. They converted on 4th and 2 as Behrens, the fullback, slipped out of the backfield. Then the big pass down the middle to Marcus Seamus down to the 5-yard line. That set up the touchdown to Scotty McKnight on 3rd and goal.
You know, and I think another storyline in this ball game emerging is Oklahoma State. They normally have the ball over 33 minutes a game. They've got 9 snaps so far in this quarter in 3 minutes.
Yep, that opening fumble with Toston, one factor in that. Cox, of course, taking the punt back to the house. So Stewart in the game as Colorado takes over after the big 4th down stop at their own 40. Their first down throw, and this is Behrens again. The fullback somersaulted by Andrew McGee, who's been replacing Cox at the corner.
Well, I think Oklahoma State defensive coordinator Bill Young has just had enough now. He said, look, we're not anticipating you running it. You want to throw it. We're going to start pressuring you and play closer to the line of scrimmage.
You saw 5 coming that time again off the corner, but just one corner. Definitely Bill Young dialing it up.
You go to these coaches' meetings, and Young fully expected a power running game from Colorado. So Eric Kiesau, who calls the plays, crossing him up so far. There's a handoff. This is Lockridge. Brian Lockridge, the 3rd tailback on this team, stopped by Justin Gent, and it'll set up 3rd down.
I really think watching Oklahoma State on tape, to me, the strength of this defense is at the linebacker level. Athletes that can support the run, but they're fast enough to get in coverage as well.
This is why I think they're a good defense, because I think the other way. I think it's the defensive line. I mean, so that means we both respect 2 different units right there, and they work well together.
All 3 of those linebackers from Houston, all of them fast, athletic. 3rd and 7, empty backfield. They bring pressure. Hansen in trouble quickly and dropped for a 3rd time. Patrick Levine, one of those senior linebackers from Houston, got him.
You see the athleticism from that linebacker position we were just talking about. The pressure package Bill Young will dial up. He can allow his backers to come from depth, and you see it right here.
Okay, look, you've got a lot of guys running clean and free, right? So I know as a quarterback, if you don't have enough guys in the block, Jesse, you're going to get rid of it, aren't you?
Oh, yeah. Quick.
Aaron had reported that Levine had tweaked his ankle, jumping up and chest bumping a teammate after a sack. So good to see him back out there.
At least he was in the play there, so he didn't have to get up and jump around.
There's no celebrating after the sack. You notice that? Just get up and run off. Yeah. Delala with the punt. Cox, fair catch at the 31-yard line. That's where the Hokies will take over. ABC's Saturday Night Football, a good one from Tucson, where game day will get you started at 10 o'clock Eastern Time. The Ducks and Arizona both controlling their destiny for the Rose Bowl. If Oregon can get past the Wildcats on the road, it would set up a civil war. Oregon and Oregon State and Eugene on a Thursday night for the Rose Bowl, assuming the Beavers take care of Wazoo this weekend.
We were having fun with Mark Stoops, D coordinator at Arizona last night, texting back and forth. So what are you looking at, man? That LaMichael James, he's no good. Jeremiah Masoli.
Mark Stoops begs to differ. They get their hands full as a defense, but they're a different team at home, aren't they? Yep. So Cate in the shotgun. Toston to his right. And he's got it. They're testing the middle of that Buffalo defense in the early going. Let's go to Aaron on the field.
Hey, Chris, just wanted to update you a little bit more on quarterback Zac Robinson. I had a chance to talk to him before the game during warm-ups, and he just was talking about how much this hurts him tonight, not being a part of this game. He said he walked over to the stadium with his mom.
There's a handoff, Aaron. Go ahead.
And she was, you know, in full-blown tears, obviously. This is very upsetting for he and his family tonight. But he also mentioned, you know, with this bruised shoulder that he's dealing with, he says, I have to have some time to heal it before we play Oklahoma next week. He said it was very, very necessary. And in talking about Alex Cate, he says he's going to try very hard to stay out of Alex's way tonight, but also provide as much input on the sidelines as he can in facing Colorado.
He's a class guy, Aaron. You all feel for a senior that can't go out there on senior night, but the prudent thing to, as you said, rest that shoulder for OU. He's a Colorado native, so it hurts a little bit more not to be able to play in this game against his home state team. And on 3rd and short, Colorado bows up again. Curtis Cunningham, the defensive tackle, stopped Toston short. They don't need a yard there. He didn't get it.
This is all at the point of attack. Jesse, what I'm impressed with is that Colorado front four really pushing the pocket. Look what they do. They attack the line of scrimmage.
They're slanting down the line, and here's a linebacking group right now that's missing 2 starters tonight. They're playing physical, playing vertical as well. And
showing they're going to go for it here. Bill Belichick style.
I don't know about that.
Yard line.
Not afraid.
You disagree?
I don't know. It's done twice now on short yardage, so figure the 3rd time's a charm.
Toston, 8 yards in the backfield. You can see Marcus Burton, the middle linebacker, expecting a quarterback sneak. Him with time running down on the play clock. Gundy will spend one. You think he's having second thoughts, or they just want to look at the defense?
Absolutely.
And the fact that Oklahoma State doesn't give up many plays behind the line of scrimmage. Their offensive line's outstanding, not allowing sacks nor tackles for loss.
We'll chat with it here with 22 seconds to go in the first quarter. Dallas fans, new place to go to get the latest on the teams you care about most. ESPNDallas.com. Of course, Big 12 football, Stars, Mavs, Cowboys. ESPNDallas.com. Your home for sports in the Metroplex. And coming soon, ESPN Los Angeles and ESPN New York.
Well, we thought Oklahoma State was going to run the football. Alex Cate, inexperienced, 12 plays, 11 runs. They've tried one go route down the right sideline, and here they are now. Decided to punt. I think that's the right decision.
So another big short yardage stop for Colorado's defense. And here's Quinn Sharp, the freshman, who's averaging better than 44 yards this season. And a fair catch made at the 20-yard line after a 40-yard punt. Talked at the top about the story of Dan Hawkins in his 4th year. Winning percentage down near 35%. And on the road, just 2 of 18. Colorado's actually had a better than 2-year drought winning road games. It's not the longest road losing streak. That's Washington and Washington State, but 10 straight road losses going back more than 2 years.
Well, the numbers speak for themselves. 16-31 overall. He's the only Colorado coach ever in his first 4 seasons to have losing seasons.
1 bowl season in those 4, and they lost it to Alabama to finish 6-7. Picking his way as Stewart showed some patience and got about 6.
Yeah, like before we leave that, I just want to say I think Hawkins is the numbers, the wins and losses don't line up for him, but this is a good man.
Yes.
That tries hard for his.
Oh, we all agree with that. No question about that. And his team is still playing for him. He's not lost the team. 7-7 at the end of 1 in Stillwater.
It's time for tonight's pregame festivities and Big 12 football. Are you ready to go?
I guess you could say that applies to Zac Robinson as well. The only player who sees any time for Oklahoma State who comes from the state of Colorado. I'd like to trade in those cowboy hats for sombreros down there in Tempe, Arizona at the Fiesta Bowl, but got to have a couple wins. Have Texas keep winning. Right now 7-7 as we start the second quarter. Hansen back to throw again. It's a low throw, and going down is Will Jefferson, the true freshman. Very short game.
That's an interesting scenario, though, that you paint there, Chris, because there is a race on right now for these at-large bids in the BCS. You know, everybody's shooting for it.
Yeah, well, you expect TCU, if they keep winning, they'll be the highest-ranked non-automatic qualifier, which will give them an automatic berth. You expect a one-loss SEC team to get one of those at-large berths, and then really it's a race-up just between a handful of teams.
And we'll show you the resumes later on, too, because it's interesting, isn't it? The comparison.
Yeah, and the economy, the way it's working, who brings people, seats, sales.
A little confusion, and Hansen will spend a timeout on 3rd and 1. We'll take a break here. 7-7. Here in Stillwater, beautiful evening. So Oklahoma State fans hoping their team will get going on senior night minus Zac Robinson. A lot to play for here in Stillwater. Colorado facing a 3rd and short. Rodney Stewart in the game. It's a sneak for Hansen. He gets across the 31 to move the chains.
You know, going back to what we were talking about, Dan Hawkins earlier, Craig, you had mentioned the wins and losses don't add up, but we agree the perseverance he's shown here, when you talk to him and look at the body of work, has really been unbelievable. I don't think people appreciate how difficult it is to win at Colorado.
It takes money to win. It takes, you know, the ability to get kids in and out of school. You know, there's some deals that are real handicaps at the university.
Hansen pulls it, keeps it, being chased. Hits the corner, shows some quickness and picks up about 4. There are obstacles to winning at Colorado. They had brilliant moments. The co-national championship under Bill McCartney. It was followed by Rick Neuheisel. In his 4th year, went 8-4. Barnett 9-4, and Hawkins took over for Barnett, charged with changing the culture and some of the off-the-field issues that took place under Barnett's tenure, and he has done that. But what's troubling for fans is the wins and losses not trending positively. Neither are the recruiting classes, according to the experts. Hansen under pressure, throws incomplete to Seamus. Nope, another rule incomplete. Went up for it. Couldn't come down for it, but check with Reese Davis. SportsCenter right now.
Chris, they call him the Freak, but what they could call him is Cy. Tim Lincecum of the Giants wins his 2nd consecutive National League Cy Young Award. He led the NL with 261 strikeouts, 4 complete games, and a couple of shutouts. Vikings like their coach. They want to keep him around. Brad Childress has an agreement with the Vikings that will keep him with the team through 2013. More details on SportsCenter after the game. Stay current with ESPN News.
Here's thanks. This place is loud as it has been as McKnight comes in motion. Sumler in the game on 3rd and 6. Hansen chased again. Spins out of trouble. Flags fly as he throws it downfield, and it's caught by McKnight at the 45. But we'll check the flag. This one appears to be coming back.
Holding on the offense, number 8. 10-yard penalty. 3rd down.
He got the back. Sumler erases a 21-yard gain.
Demetrius Sumler is kind of the 3rd down specialist. He's kind of the Kevin Falk of this offense. He comes in on 3rd down packages. You see him right here in protection, bowing up on the outside versus linebacker Andre Sexton.
All he has to do, Jesse, is just keep his hand on the inside. Once he went out there outside the shoulder pads with his hand, that's what was clear for the official to see. That's not that hard a block because the corner really wouldn't come and trying to get through him. He just needs to keep his hands on the inside.
Now it's 3rd and 16. Only rush 3, dropping 8 into coverage, and Hansen fires short. This is Seamus, but he needs a lot more yards than he's going to get. Donald Booker stops him short. Here comes a punt.
It's unfortunate with that holding penalty because you saw the athleticism from Tyler Hansen, able to scramble around back across his body and make a back shoulder throw to Scotty McKnight, which would have been a huge play.
All in all, a good start for Colorado, really, in this football game.
If you look at it on both sides, I'm with you.
Yeah.
Parrish Cox very slow to get out there. DeLallo punts it. Cox was kind of rope-a-doping, not really in position to receive it. It bounces on the other side of the field. Not a very good kick. Rolls dead at the 34. That was strange.
Ropa-dopa, punt return.
Well, he wasn't out there.
Yeah, that was an interesting call.
Pokes will take over.
ESPN's College Football Primetime, brought to you by Chevy and their award-winning cars, trucks, and crossovers, and the Home Depot. Visit HomeDepot.com. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot.
You know, the first thing people say when you say you're going to Stillwater? Oh, Eskimo Joe's, home of the famous chili fries. Yes, you tried those last time?
Cheese fries, unbelievable. I did not do the chili on them. I got some bacon, though. It was strong to very strong.
Strong to very strong. All right.
That looks pretty good.
You know Todd Blackledge, but I appreciate the review.
Yeah, I got a T-shirt too. I'll wear that around New York City also.
Cold beverages were pretty strong.
Chilly. They were chilly.
Fourth Oklahoma State possession. They've only run 12 plays. They got 2 first downs. Have not completed a pass yet. And they hand it to Hunter. Running right. Gets a little crease. Sidesteps a tackler. And picks off about 13 yards. They could have had him in the backfield. Finally, Jaleel Brown had to wrestle him down.
Last week I made the comment on a run similar to this against Texas Tech that Hunter looked to be from 85 now 100%. Watch what he does though when he makes the shift, Jesse, but he keeps his speed. See how fast he kept going?
I get the feeling though, if they keep running it and they're one-dimensional, this is going to be tough sledding, even with the healthy Kendall Hunter, because this defense now is playing the run.
Toston and Hunter both in the game, flanking Cate on first down. And Cate with pressure up the middle fires downfield. And Neon came from out of bounds and was overthrown anyway. He got popped, didn't he?
Personal foul. Roughing the passer on the defense, number 47. Contact to the quarterback's head. 15-yard penalty. First down.
And so Sean Moeller, who made the big play on the 4th down stop earlier, guilty of yet another major penalty.
I want to see if he leads with his head. If it's because up to the head.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It looks like targeting. He looked like he was targeting him there. A little blow to the head. Maybe not with the helmet or the crown of the helmet, but it looked like it might have been a forearm. That's an easy call for the referee to make.
And a big play for Colorado that's negated.
Moeller, a guy himself who had a mild concussion earlier this season, moves the ball to the CU 40. 3 penalties on the Buffaloes for 30 yards. That's been a recurring problem. Cate fires over the middle. High pass almost intercepted. Benjamin Burney, the safety, was covering Josh Cooper, the slot receiver, and it bounced off of Burney.
Josh Cooper is a guy that has been injured. He had a foot injury against Texas A&M that kept him out 4 weeks. They're trying to get him involved in this game. They say he's got a lot of shake and bake and try to work him over the middle of the field, but ball thrown a little bit too high. Benjamin Burney would like that back.
Right between the 4 and the 2. See why Oklahoma State fans were concerned tonight without Zac Robinson.
No question.
Quarterback that hadn't completed a pass this season coming in has struggled tonight. This is Hunter for a short gain. It'll set up 3rd and long.
Right, and this is an offense that last week was just like this, stale, being stoned against Texas Tech in the first half, and Zac Robinson's legs lifted them up.
Yep.
He brought them up with his legs. We haven't seen that with the ability right now from Alex Cate.
Well, they're very one-dimensional. It almost looks to me like this coaching staff at Oklahoma State is afraid to let Alex Cate throw the football. They're trying to give him high completion throws downfield and bump and run situations, but so far not the case.
He's noted as a pretty maneuverable guy, but he didn't have the straight-ahead speed of Zac Robinson. The guy has rushed for almost 400 yards this season. On 3rd down, Cate fires on the sidelines and way over the head of DeMarcus Connor, the senior receiver who was covered by Jaleel Brown.
Wow. I'm not so sure. Yeah, I'm not so sure that the hit by Sean Moeller earlier that got the flag did maybe get in the head a little bit of Cate. Now he's out there throwing the ball high and off.
And Craig, we talked earlier about the pride factor for this Colorado team, specifically this defense. They're coming out here. They are hitting Oklahoma State in the mouth at the point of attack, challenging them, daring them to make plays downfield.
Here comes the punt from Sharp. Very high kick. Fair catch made and taken at the 8-yard line. So Colorado, very poor field position as they take over in a 7-7 game second quarter. Now Boise State fans certainly rooting for Oklahoma State to lose this game tonight. You can see the 6th ranked in the BCS Broncos against Utah State tomorrow night, 9:30 Eastern time. It's the final road game for the Broncos. They've got Nevada on the blue rug and then New Mexico State to wrap up the season. Kellen Moore, 32-2 TDINT. Jesse?
That's unbelievable. That is unbelievable. He's a Heisman contender in my eyes.
Nobody's paying attention to the great numbers that he's putting up. Level of competition, always the complaint from the skeptics, but he's having a tremendous year. Hansen on the design keeper, picks his way for about 4. And that really is a schedule that we would expect Boise State to thump those teams. Nevada's 7-3, so it's a little bit of a test, but style points, unfortunately, where we are.
And they're playing Utah State tomorrow night.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so you don't get a lot of credibility.
No.
Even if you go out there and smoke. I mean, we're talking about teams now with the Ingrams and the Tebows and the McCoys. They're playing big schools on Saturday in front of big audiences.
Almost intercepted right into traffic. Seamus made the catch, but Patrick Levine from his linebacker position had it sniffed out.
He's got 5 interceptions on the year. That's 2nd in the conference, only to Earl Thomas of Texas, and that leads all linebackers in the country.
And this is a defense who early in the season gave up 336 passing yards to the University of Houston. A lot of it coming on screens just like that. And this defense has been schooled up on how to get up in the mustache of receivers and beat the screen.
You see the anticipation there by Levine, reading the quarterback's eyes? Defensive coordinator Bill Young says, hey, he's a linebacker. He can cover wide receivers in this league.
Now, they love his football IQ, don't they? 3rd down. Hansen, delayed handoff to Stewart, and he's dropped for a loss. Speedy Stewart has not been able to get going tonight. Justin Jen is a backup middle linebacker. Makes the tackle along with Jones.
Yeah, Colorado doesn't take advantage of a nice quarterback designed run on 1st down with some success. And that gives the chance for that defense to bunch up.
Now, if you're Oklahoma State, you got to do something and respond on offense. You've been sputtering here so far all game long. You need to convert this into points somehow.
See if they come after Matt Delala, who's had a punt block this year. Texas got one. He's had 5 blocked in his career. And, of course, Cox, who took the first punt back for a touchdown, takes it at the 47. Jukes briefly, 6-yard return. There's the Pokes defense.
Yeah, the defense, you know, they put pressure on Hansen. He's never gotten comfortable in the pocket, and he's rolled. They tried to get away from it. Defensive line chased him down.
Lots of speed on that side of the football right now, playing closer to the line of scrimmage, bringing pressure from all angles. They've been able to get some heat on Tyler Hansen with their defensive ends. They've been able to get some heat on Tyler Hansen from the linebacker position.
3 sacks for that Oak State defense. And they take over the Buffalo 41. Toston in the game. Good to see that he's okay. Fumbled in the first offensive play for this team. Appeared to be nicked up, but one of the seniors playing their final game in Stillwater just had the wind knocked out of him. He's okay. And he's got it. Again, they're testing the middle of that defense with good success, Craig.
But Colorado is coming into this game. They're playing what's called a cover 4 defense, which 2 deep safeties, but they play closer to the line of scrimmage to try to create a 9-man front to get involved in the running game.
Well, which would help against that little quarterback read right there that they ran. That's a specialty by Zac Robinson.
34 over 72, 09, Nike swoosh.
What if it's an Adidas symbol? What does that mean?
It wouldn't be an Adidas symbol right here.
That's right. That's right.
Again, going with the all-black uniforms for the first time in many years here, and a different helmet design. Toston inside the 30. It'll be a 1st down. Uncle Sapili on the stop.
That puts him over 1,000 for the season, and this is a guy that started out the year. After the first 2 weeks, 21 carries, 121 yards. So he had a lot of ground to make up, and he certainly's done that.
He's really picked up the slack. You can't say enough about the job Robert Gillespie, the running back coach here, has done with this group without Kendall Hunter for most of the year.
Give your ex-Gator buddy a pop. I got it. I hear you.
We played together in Florida. He was one of our running backs. He has done an outstanding job here.
Yeah, he has. And this is Toston again. Breaking free. Keith Toston. Knocked down to the 15, and now the running game is going. And Toston, a guy who's So inspired by his mom, whose name is Mickey. She has lupus. He's got her name on his eye black patches.
And I don't think the running back coach can take credit for this one. This has to go to the offensive line, Jesse. Sorry about that Florida Gator boy. But this is good blocking up front.
Woo. 4 seniors on that offensive line starting for Oklahoma State. You can see the push in the crease they're able to form.
60 yards on 10 carries for Toston. Kendall Hunter back in the game to the left of Cate. Cate on the fade, looking for the end zone, almost intercepted. Justin Blackmon was the receiver, but underthrown and broken up by Jaleel Brown.
They've been picking on Jaleel Brown. That's the 3rd time now this game. They've gone after him downfield, but he's won every time. You watch Jaleel Brown here, gets the head turned around, and that's just a catch you got to make. He does a great job high pointing it, but just catch the football.
Both those athletes on that particular play are 6'1", so there's no height advantage. And then it comes down to athleticism, making a turn and play for the football at his highest point. And Brown showing he's got it.
Burney and Brown have both dropped pretty easy interceptions. Buffalo's only 8 this season. Cate hands it to Hunter. And juke. He can't get away. Very short gain. Oklahoma State hasn't been able to gain a yard passing tonight.
Well, but they're a patient football team. Mike Gundy understands his team, and he understands the situation without Zac Robinson. He's not going to do anything crazy. He almost had an interception the play before. Be smart.
You heard him tell Aaron Andrews at the start of this telecast he's going to play within the system, but obviously the play calling has to change. Major emphasis on running the football.
Gundy does call the plays here. Hubert and Neum, their top receiver, is to the bottom of the formation. Toston in the backfield. Cate on the run. Throws it away. Tyler Ellis was chasing him down.
I'm just thinking about the routes they've tried to run so far tonight with Alex Cate in. They've run some fade routes down the right sideline. They try to post down the middle of the field, and I'm not really sure what that was. I don't know if that was supposed to be a fade or a screen, but there hasn't been a lot of complex route schemes.
And the fade went to the Colorado guy, and the post went to the Colorado guy. So they got lucky they weren't intercepted.
So here's Dan Bailey, who's been an effective kicker. He's made 8 of his last 9. This from 30 yards for the lead. So the Pokes convert to short field after the punt into 3 points. Very patient, grinded out night without their quarterback. Oklahoma State for the 30-yard field goal, back on top, 10-7, 5:40 before halftime, and a crucial evening here in Stillwater. You like that look?
He's getting after it young, making a statement.
A little faux hawk action.
We were speculating whether or not we might see Brandon Weeden down the line if Cate continues to struggle at quarterback for Oklahoma State. And it appears Cody Hawkins is set to come in for the Buffaloes when they take over after this kickoff, trying to find Tyler Hansen on the sidelines. Aaron is going over to see what the situation is with the starter, and Hawkins is with the starter the first 5 games of the season. Of course, the coach's son set to go back in. On the hunt, Arthur Jaffe, Russell down at the 24. So Cody Hawkins, who has 9 touchdown passes, 11 interceptions on the season, and has played sparingly since Hansen took over. Tries to knock the rust off on the road here.
He had a bit of a bad performance earlier in the season against Texas, and that's really what got him benched. He's had spotty playing time. They think he's a very accurate quarterback, but it's not been very consistent.
And he's smart. He knows what's going on. He didn't go in the tank when he was benched. I wouldn't be surprised if he had success.
Doesn't have the mobility of Hansen, and remember how good the pass rush has been for Colorado tonight. Pass is incomplete. Kind of overled Marcus Seamus. Talked about the Texas game. I think you were quite kind, Jesse, because he really struggled. This is a huge play in the red zone. Just laid it out there for Earl Thomas, who took it to the house and completely changed the game around. This was a day when the Colorado defense was playing well, and they're holding Texas in check. Another interception down the middle. ended up being ugly in Austin.
And you think about Dan Hawkins as a head coach benching his own son from the quarterback position, but I thought he handled it very, very well, trying to do what's best for this team to give him a spark.
He's handled it very well. And 2nd and 10, they fake it to Lockridge. Hawkins rolls out. Had the tight end gear running free, couldn't get it to him. And let's check with Aaron on the status of Hansen.
Well, Chris, the reason why you can't find him on the field, he's not even out here. He's back in Colorado's locker room. And what I'm hearing from the sports information department is that his return is questionable and they're doing some sort of exams. They're only telling me upper body injury. Come on, CF, you worked for the sports information department. Get on him.
They're very secretive. Back in the 80s, it was a lot easier to get information. Now there's upper body, so we can, from the waist up, that narrows it down. In the meantime, Hawkins faces 3rd and 10 in his first series. Pressure, and yet another sack. Donald Booker, the middle linebacker, 4 sacks for the Pokes.
Well, this really all goes back to first down and the drop pass. Instead of being 2nd and 5, you can't get it done. You just see the bodies who are coming here. There's just too many bodies for these guys to block. It's a good job by Bill Young dialing up the blitz.
They're scheming them up and really disguising where they're coming from. You see the looping up front. It's confusing a young and inexperienced offensive line.
Call that the A-gap, right, Booker? Right up the middle. That was a pretty good punt from Delano, and Cox takes it at his 40. Gets a block on the corner. Dances out near midfield. He's dragged down in Colorado territory, and some pushing and shoving after the return. Well, it all wraps up in Homestead, the Ford 400. Jimmy Johnson just needs to finish in the top 25 to wrap up an incredible 4th straight NASCAR Sprint Cup championship. Unprecedented and underappreciated, certainly, by fans. Got the win last week, so Mark Martin now 108 points back. And over 48 car, just a machine.
Alex Cate needs to become a machine.
A few malfunctions, little glitches early on. The passing game. Pokes still haven't completed a pass. Cate 0 for 6 in his first start. And still 0 for 09 in completions. Pitches it out. Toston, it's just a yard. When you're this one-dimensional, it's going to be tough sledding against the Buffs. They'll rally to the football as a defensive unit when they just have to defend the run.
You're going to see a chess game start here between both coaching staffs. On that play, Oklahoma State anticipating pressure, so they go to the speed option. They guess wrong. Colorado out there ready to handle it.
But I'll tell you, the progress development I've seen now of this Colorado defense over the year, they were very slow and were hurt in open space earlier when we did their game with West Virginia. I like the way they're running tonight.
Play action, Cate. Buying time and retreating. And just chucks it away.
You know, Mike
Gundy chased him down.
Mike Gundy had told us he was concerned which Colorado team was going to show up tonight. Was it the ones that really get down early in the first quarter, or was it the Colorado teams that battled against West Virginia like we all saw, or battled against Texas earlier this year? You're finding out right now which one they're playing.
Play like that right there. And I don't want to, really knock Alex Cate, but Zac Robinson's a proven successful runner. When he breaks the pocket there, he turns the corner and either throws the ball down the field or picks up yards with his legs.
Well, it shows you the importance of number 11 out there, doesn't it? It is absolutely apparent how much Robinson means to this offense. Trying for their first 3rd down conversion. Cate fires deep, and it is intercepted. This time it's not dropped. Anthony Perkins, his 2nd pick of the season, and there are some boos here from the home crowd for the quarterback.
This is a typical quarterback who hasn't played, with not experience out there, and he's not looking and reading. Jesse, he just throws the ball deep. You see the safety in the middle of the field back there?
Well, there's two deep safeties, and he's basically all the routes working to the right side, but it's one thing to give your wide receiver a chance. You cannot pull the trigger with Anthony Perkins playing that close to the middle of the football field. It's a fly ball. It's like a center fielder in baseball. That's a routine catch.
So neither starting quarterback in the game for these teams, and Hawkins back in, just hands it off. They haven't had much of an impact from Stewart. They've been emphasizing pass tonight. He hasn't had a chance to make a play. Aaron?
Chris, the other little bit of information I can get from Colorado right now is that they are doing x-rays on Tyler Hansen. Somewhere upper body injury. I think our crack staff there in the truck has a replay. I don't know if they're showing it now. It looks to be his right hand, but again, Colorado not telling us anything on Hansen.
Good work. Guys in the truck, he's pointing to that right hand.
Hey, but you know, the difference is you say both backup quarterbacks, but we do know that Hawkins has started. He's got a lot more experience than Cate.
Oh, correct. This is his third year starting some games. That's gear the catch, and we'll set up third and short. I mean, I'm not equating the two quarterbacks. It's just, you know, you expect to see Hansen out there, and we're seeing the value of Robinson and perfectly displayed tonight.
Yeah, and I mean, just look at Cody Hawkins. Right now, the advantage hugely with Colorado in terms of play calling. The entire playbook is open because Cody Hawkins has started so many games. Nobody's thrown more touchdown passes in Colorado history than that guy right there.
They'll throw it on 3rd and 2. Or try to. Flushed out again. Fires sideline and incomplete. Jake Barons couldn't come up with a catch. And Colorado will have to punt.
Boy, just execution, lack of it. You know, hey, you got two receivers over there. Ryer Greer, 87, the tight end. That's where Cody wanted to throw the football.
You know what? The fullback was wide open in the flat right away, and he did have Patrick Levine. That might have scared him because of all the interceptions Levine's had. But you know what? That's your first read. Put your foot in the ground, spit it to the flat, get the first, stay on the field.
Instead, Delano back. And the lefty kicks a very ugly line drive, which bounces effective as Cox has to chase it down at the 30. And a short return. Ugly kick, but effective. The Applebee's weekend menu, Ohio State and Michigan, noon Eastern time on ABC. Wolverines trying to be spoilers. We talked about the Oregon-Arizona game. Stanford, one of the stories in the country. The big game against Cal.
You see there are 2 Pac-10 games on that menu, right? This late in the season. That tells you where a lot of the focus in the country is right now, out west.
A lot of parity in that conference right now. We're so used to seeing USC just gobble that conference up. All of a sudden right now, there's a big-time race going on.
2:12 before halftime, up by 3. You think Gundy's just going to hand the ball off? I don't think he has a whole lot of trust in Alex Cate in the passing game right now. This is Hunter. And Colorado all over these running plays, although Hunter keeps his feet, shows his balance, and fights for about 8.
No, I think if you're Oklahoma State, you go into halftime with the lead 10-7, and you actually feel pretty fortunate being as one-dimensional as they've been. This is a big job for the coaching staff now to really look at themselves in the mirror and be honest and say, guys, what pass plays can we dial up we feel comfortable with?
I'll take Hawkins' side to that equation running into the locker room at 10-7. I'd say he feels pretty good about it. On the road, 3-7 football team, Hawkins has a chance, and you're looking at his quarterback maybe being out, but having an experienced guy and his son behind him, ready to go.
You got to wonder if Brandon Weeden is a 26-year-old sophomore, played pro baseball for 5 years. He might get a look in the second half. Cate fires down the middle, and that wasn't the quarterback's fault. Because Sapili roughed him again. So a second roughing the passer against the Buffaloes. Wow.
2 times now roughing the passer in this game. Sapili, when they break, it's a great job by the defense. You got to bend your fanny down and bend over and not hit them in the head.
The referees are making a point this year to look for targeting on defenseless players. That is the easiest call a referee will make. You just got to be smarter than that on defense. Now on the flip side, we've talked about how Alex Cate struggled all night. Wilson Newman, the tight end, you got to help out your quarterback. The one time he puts it close for a big play, you got to make that catch.
And instead, the penalty moves the ball to the 41, gives a struggling offense a chance to get something else on the board before halftime. Toston muscling down near the Colorado 45. We check back with Reese.
All right, Chris, coming up on the IBM halftime report, Mayday will do what the Pac-10 has not been able to do. That is stop Toby Gerhart. We'll look ahead to the Big 12 North de facto championship game coming up in Lincoln on Saturday. And Norm stops by to cheer up Dr. Lou. It's all coming up. We'll see you in just a little bit on the IBM halftime report.
Reese, thanks. Don't look now, but Hubert Aneam, the guy who took over for Des Bryant, has been the featured receiver. He's being looked at on the field by the trainers. as the Pokes talk it over with 1:22. Don't tell me this guy. He added to the casualty list.
You know, you got to be ready to play and go. You know, how's Mayday going to stop Toby Gerhardt? I can't wait to see that. Nobody, a guy, 1,400 yards. He's got
19 rushing touchdowns. Second best in the country.
I mean, they're
it's
balling out there. These guys are, and they're physical. Jim Harbaugh has done an excellent job with that football team. I mean, when you talk about the Pac-10 right now, who's hotter than them?
The country who's hotter than Stanford. They put, what, half 100 on back-to-back top 10 teams.
Andrew Luck, true freshman, playing quarterback, doing a great job. It's funny, watching teams play USC, and we've seen LaMichael James of Oregon and Jacquizz Rodgers, these little running backs, kind of dice them up. How about Stanford going out and toting it for 325 against USC? Unbelievable.
But the Cal is going to be a tough game for them. Oregon controls their destiny. Again, the big showdown in Tucson against the Wildcats, and then the Civil War will have that game 2 weeks from tonight in Eugene against the Beavers, who can also get to the Rose Bowl if Arizona loses one game, and they take care of the Ducks, and Arizona controls their destiny as well, but they have 3 more games to go.
The meat, the heart right now is coming up for Arizona. We were there a couple of years ago when Arizona went in there with Dixon at quarterback and hurt his leg. They were that close to playing for the national championship. They were number 2 in the country. He went down in that game, and Arizona upset them.
All right, back to the Big 12. You saw Neum walking off very slowly, and Tyler Hansen back from the locker room where Aaron was reporting they had done some x-rays. We think they're looking at that right hand. He's trying to get loose on the sidelines there.
Looks like he's got a little bit of tape on that hand, kind of closer to the palm area or the wrist area.
So the Pokes down to just one timeout, 1:22 to work with. Cate pitches it again, a high throw. That one almost intercepted again by Jaleel Brown, right out of his hands, and Justin Blackmon, the freshman, was in the area, but another inaccurate throw.
Inaccurate, not right. I mean, you've got to, now if you're a Colorado secondary guy or linebacker, you got to focus on finishing the play. You should have 3 additional interceptions.
All by Jaleel Brown, and for whatever reason, they keep picking on him. Now, Jimmy Smith is the other cornerback, and he's a big-time NFL prospect. I'll tell you what, Jaleel Brown, his cover skills are good. You just like to see him capitalize and catch it.
Sometimes those fast guys, you see why they're playing on defense, right? Not playing receiver.
That's what you always hear coaches say. That's why he plays defense.
So 3rd and 5. Buffaloes bring pressure. Cate steps up. There's another throw, incomplete. Some confusion there. Cameron Fuchs was the receiver, and there's the excellent cover corner Smith.
And Smith squatted on the inside of that play. There was no way that route was going to come inside on him. And so again, here's an Oklahoma State offense that's really squandering some field position and a roughing the passer penalty.
Cate 0 for 9 now, and on 4th down, Mike Gundy's seen enough. Here comes a punt.
They're going to kick it.
Oh, field goal attempt. It'll be a long field goal for Dan Bailey. This is going to be from 53 yards. That's a career long. So a bit of a surprise. He'll take a shot with the excellent kicker, but this out of his normal range, and it's blocked at the line. So a hand as he tries to get the low trajectory on that distance kick. And Colorado dodges it. The 1:06 to go before halftime.
I'm very impressed right now with Colorado and how inspired they're playing. Craig, don't you agree?
Yeah, absolutely. Way to start it out. That's it. Hawkins goes in at halftime, blocked field goal attempt. It doesn't matter that it's 53. They block it. They're energized.
Conrad Obi got the block. On the flip side, guys, Oklahoma State. Yes, Zac Robinson is a huge part of the offense. We knew his loss would be a blow, but does this look like a team that is a BCS at large contender so far? They're struggling.
Hey, Chris, last Saturday against Texas Tech, this team was in the same boat until Zac Robinson opened them up. That's how important Zac Robinson is to this football team. That's why Mike Gundy knew, didn't he, Jesse, coming in here, his team had to be ready.
You can lose Des Bryant, you can lose Kendall Hunter, but you lose Zac Robinson, and you're seeing the result.
It's Hawkins still in the game and retreating. Scrambling around, buying some time, heaves it downfield, and it's caught by McKnight. So Scotty McKnight inside the 40-yard line. Final minute, he beat Terrence Anderson. Hawkins and McKnight have that kind of connection.
Did you see what McKnight did? As a quarterback, you had to love that guy. He kept going and working for him to have a spot to throw the football.
It's the scramble rules. He sees his quarterback rolling out to his right, so he knows immediately, put your foot in the ground. I'm going to work back to the sidelines, give my quarterback a place to throw it. You can see the chemistry they have together.
3rd catch, McKnight. That one for 25 yards. Hawkins play action. And he'll fire again. This is the tight end gear out of bounds at the 20. Donald Booker shoved him out, and Colorado trying to battle back in the last minute.
The subtlety, the little things, the experienced quarterback. Watch how he steps up into the pocket, feels the pressure, buys time, stays down the field.
And a really nice throw. Not the strongest arm in the world. Nobody is going to argue that, but the accuracy throwing away from his body to a big tight end, that looked beautiful.
Third catch for Gear. Blitz. Hawkins gets it out, and Seamus, a 2-yard gain with 45 seconds to play.
All right, Jesse's noticed one thing here strategically. Bill Young's dialing it up. Colorado's picking it up.
Well, and they're trying to get the football out quick. They need to continue moving the pocket, particularly with Cody Hawkins, who on his best day is 5'11". He struggles seeing the field, but they need to get quick throws going here to try to score late.
I got a play for you. What about a little middle screen right here? You got that defense pinning their ears back. Middle of the field, you got 2 timeouts.
I love it.
Hawkins retreats. It is a little middle screen. Good call there, Coach. Somewhere, not much of a gain, but you saw it coming. Maybe they did too.
Well, you know what? Just one player away from breaking that thing, getting in the end zone. That'll slow them down.
Buffs will spend a timeout with 38 seconds. They have 1 remaining.
You wonder if there would be a panic factor if Colorado was able to get points here and put this thing in at halftime, at least tied, if not leading. And a little bit more pressure all of a sudden on the Oklahoma State sideline, trying to manufacture ways to get successful here in the second half.
See if Colorado can tie the game or take the lead. That would put some pressure on Alex Cate in the second half. The quarterback who has struggled mightily, yet to complete a pass in 9 attempts. Should have had multiple interceptions. You see Bernie dropping that one. Jalil Brown's had his chances. Did make 1 interception.
But a lot of inaccurate throws. He's going towards matchups that look good. From a decision standpoint, I think Alex Cate has made very good decisions. He's going where the ball needs to go. It's just been the execution that's been lacking.
Hawkins fires near side. Going down to make the catch is Will Jefferson, and the true freshman. 1st and goal at the 5.
That's a pretty good little arm to get it over there as quickly as he did so that the receiver had a chance to make a play with the ball.
All of a sudden, this offense on this drive, guys, it looks pretty well-oiled, fine-tuned. They've been able to scramble, make plays. Cody Hawkins, you can understand right now, watching that throw, he understands where to go.
5 for 5 for Hawkins on this drive. Not a successful first series, feeling the rust and the pressure. But now 1st and goal. Fake it to Summer. Hawkins across the middle, through into traffic, nearly intercepted. Tried to get it to Seamus.
You know, this has really been the bright spot for Cody Hawkins over his career. In the red zone, 33 touchdown passes, only 5 interceptions. This is where he shines. They need a big play from Cody Hawkins here to capitalize.
Well, they've got 1 timeout, so they you know, it's not out of the question that they run the football here. You know, absolutely.
Flips it up in the end zone, a jump ball, and a touchdown. Ryer Gear, the big tight end, with his 4th touchdown of the season. What a reversal of momentum in the final couple minutes of this first half.
Yeah, I'm not so certain, though, that Greer doesn't push off here a little bit. Let's see if we can find what he's doing here. I think that's him right here. Let's see what happens here. And while he pushes off just a little bit. Maybe not. What a pass.
6'4" tight end against a 6'1" free safety. Nice job by Hawkins, giving him a chance.
Yeah, Lucian Antoine is a tough hitter, but physically overmatched by Gear. And a good job by Hawkins off the bench with Hansen shaken up. And the veteran moves him down the field. Colorado, I think, just was trying to avoid falling in a bigger hole than 3 points. Now going to the break will apparently have the lead.
What do you think they're doing in Boise, Idaho right now?
They're hoping that old Hawk, their ex-coach, can deliver them a nice present.
Hello, Boise State. You loves in this.
They went 64 yards, guys, in 7 plays in 44 seconds.
How about Cody Hawkins, though, on that drive? We had talked, looked a little bit rusty early, and you'd anticipate that, considering he probably didn't get that many reps this week. He probably hasn't had that many in the last couple weeks, but just understanding where to go with the football. And there's the big NFL prospect there, Gear, holding that down.
3 times now, or 4, the last 4 blitzes by the Oklahoma State defense have been picked up. Remember, early in the game, they were not picking up anybody. It was helter-skelter. Now, they're putting bodies and allowing the quarterback time to throw it.
Geer, a senior from Grand Junction, Colorado, over on the western slope near the Utah border. It's been the guys for Colorado, Seamus, McKnight, Geer, really is a three-headed receiving core for this team. Those have been the guys that have been active tonight.
They finally found out who their big threats were and their constants were in the passing game.
They've had no success running the ball tonight. The kickoff bounces to Cox, and Cox, who keeps maintaining on the sidelines that he's okay, but doesn't appear to be 100% out there, wrestled down to the 26.
Good point, Chris. He's not the same as that punt return touchdown.
He's hoping to become a finalist for the Thorpe Award, which goes to the best defensive back, and that'll be handed out December 10th, 7 o'clock on ESPN, our Home Depot College Football Awards show. Cox, along with, you'd have to believe, gentleman from Tennessee,
Eric Perry,
strong contender for that.
Okay, you think Taylor Mays is in
Thomas,
there?
the fine DB at Texas.
Sure. Taylor Mays, USC.
Yeah. Alex Cate. Just a few seconds to work with, rolling out. And he'll just scamper out across the 30-yard line.
Well, guys, Oklahoma State came into this game knowing that if they won out their last two games, they'd have a great opportunity to go to the school's first ever BCS bowl game. I got news, though. If you don't win tonight, you're really hurting your chances.
It's so...
You think?
Yeah.
And you know what, Jesse? They're so off kilter here. I mean, this is a team that averages over 33 minutes. They've got less than 12. I mean, they just haven't controlled it.
Toston on left side, bumped out short of the 40, but 5 seconds to go before halftime. Well, clearly they're going to have to figure out if they can get something going for Alex Cate or pull the trigger and put in Brandon Weeden, their third-string quarterback who has a big arm.
Brandon Weeden has played earlier this year in that same blowout win against Grambling State. He did throw 2 touchdown passes. He's not as good as an athlete. He's a lot bigger, though, and he's got a very, very strong arm.
See him there on the white baseball hat signaling in plays. This is Toston again in the final play of this first half. Stop short of midfield. So Oklahoma State minus Robinson generates just 126 yards of total offense in the first half. No completed passes. And Cody Hawkins off the bench sparks a drive that gives Colorado the lead as we check down with Aaron.
All right, I'm going to grab Coach right now. Coach, Alex Cate obviously struggling in the passing game. What kind of adjustment do you make in the second half?
Well, I think we got to settle everybody down and just get back into the flow. We're not throwing the ball very well, as everybody can tell. Got to keep running it and just try to get everybody settled down.
What's your plan for the quarterbacks, though, in the second half? You stay with him?
Well, we're going to make that decision in a few minutes.
All right, Coach, thank you. Chris.
Yeah, we did notice the passing game has struggled, so we'll have to see if it's going to be Cate or Weeden in the second half. 14-10 Buffaloes. Reese Davis, Mark and Lou in the studio for the IBM halftime report.
All right, Chris. It doesn't sound promising for young Alex's prospects of staying in the game. Don't know for sure. We'll see if Mike Gundy makes a quarterback change coming up in a matter of moments. Buffs with a 4-point lead at the break. And you really disagreed with the decision to attempt the long field goal late in the first half by Oklahoma State. How come?
I said at the time they kicked it, not after, because everything has to do with momentum. You're asking a guy to make an incredible kick, and if he doesn't make it, the chances are that he won't make, at least from my point of view. Then the other team has momentum. They got the ball at around 35-yard line. They can play it wide open. They can throw the football. They got nothing to lose. And I also believe this, that the fact that Colorado went back down and scored is why he's thinking about making a quarterback change. Hey, if it was 10-7, he may not have felt that way.
Well, the backup quarterback, Cody Hawkins, came into the game, and because the starter got injured in the game. But the bottom line is he was able to engineer a terrific 2-minute drill going down the field, 6 of 7 on the drive, and he was almost perfect on this drive. And in the total drive, it was 64 yards, and he gets it in for the score. But it was a terrific job of managing the offense, getting the ball to his receivers, coaches, in areas in the field where they could make plays and come down with first downs and move the chains.
Well, the big thing was he got some protection. If you give him protection, he can throw the football.
As the guys mentioned, sometimes field vision at his height, not his strong suit. He lofted that one up. It looked a little scary when it left his hands, but Geer made a nice catch in the end zone, and that is the difference in the game right now. 14-10, Colorado with the lead, trying to spoil Oklahoma State's dream of making it to a BCS game. We'll roll on.
And we're back on ESPN's College Football Primetime, presented by Applebee's. Set for the second half here. Colorado on the road, a 14-10 leader over Oklahoma State. On senior night, we're seeing the value of senior quarterback Zac Robinson not in there. Mighty struggles for Oklahoma State, not able to complete a pass in the first half. They're going to make a change here as Brandon Weeden, who's a 26-year-old redshirt sophomore, third year in the program, but a guy who spent 5 years in minor league baseball. He's going to get the call for the second half.
And the opportunities have been there in the passing game for Oklahoma State, but Craig, the execution has been lacking, and that's why I agree with the change here.
Yeah, execution from the wide receivers. They're going to have to step up when the ball is thrown and go help make a catch.
There's Parrish Cox, who brought a punt back for a touchdown in the first quarter, and a good-looking return. A flag is down as Cox has run out near midfield. They'll move the ball back, lose some of that good field position after a 33-yard return. This is the first penalty of the night for the Pokes.
During the return, block in the back, return team, 10-yard penalty, first down.
Home Depot coaching adjustments, guys.
You know what? It really comes down to the execution that you and I were talking about, Jesse. This football team has thrown the ball a lot. No completions that have helped them at all. The receivers have not really had a chance. And if not for Colorado's poor hands, there'd be 3 more interceptions.
Craig, I like the play calling from Mike Gundy at Oklahoma State. I really do. They've run the ball well. Kendall Hunter, Keith Toston, both almost averaging 6 yards a carry. They just need to start completing passes.
Weeden on his first play stumbles as he tosses the ball to Toston. What if he got stepped on coming away from center? Brandon got in there, as Jesse mentioned earlier, against Grambling State and threw a couple touchdowns.
You see a bunched up set to the right. You got tight ends over there. You got 2 receivers, so it's a big, strong, bunched-in group. And
no, he did, though. He false stepped on that. Instead of pivoting, the false step caused him to get stepped on.
This is Kendall Hunter, and he's knocked down short of the 35. It'll be 3rd and 3.
You know what I'm saying, Craig? I mean, keep running the football. That's been working for Oklahoma State. And the passing plays have been drawn up right. Guys have been open. They just haven't been able to complete them.
We really haven't seen the offensive line at Oklahoma State get set in, though, yet. And that long, they had a 19-play drive last week. 8 minutes and 8 seconds against Texas Tech. They like to stay out there.
They need 3 yards to stay out there this time, and Bo Johnson, the senior third-string tailback, is to the left of Brandon Weeden. See if they put the big arm on display here. They hand it off to Johnson running left, and he does get a first down to the 40. Marcus Burton stopped him.
Craig, you know what they did last week against Texas Tech? They came out in the second half, they ran the football, and they possessed it for more than 22 minutes in the second half. They had it for 14 minutes of the third quarter. They would love to keep running the football and stay on the field.
Their opening drive in the third quarter was 8 minutes.
Here's Weeden, and his first throw is a high percentage toss to the tailback, and also the move by Hunter, and he fights near midfield.
You hear the crowd going wild right now. The first completion of the night for Oklahoma State.
They're on their feet.
The cheers. And I love the play call. Those swing passes is just an extension of the running game. It's the same thing as running a sweep. You allow your playmakers to get on the perimeter.
They know the Bronx cheer down in Stillwater, I guess.
Bunch set again.
Hunter. That's strung out. Cuts it back. And is hit. No gain.
Yeah, and you know what? As a running back, that's kind of where you need to know the down in the distance. Sometimes that bouncing and cutting and all that works. Second, short, go get up the field, get your first down.
But when he's healthy, he's able to make all those cuts and moves and make guys miss. And I wonder if the mentality changes sometimes.
Weeden, the big guy, flag is down as he tries to sneak it. He got near the marker right at the 50. It'll be a false start.
No penalties in the first half for Oklahoma State. All of a sudden now you're seeing here, if this is against them, 2 very early in the second half.
We have 2 fouls on the play. Legal formation on the offense, too many men in the backfield. After the play was over, personal foul, unnecessary roughness on the defense, number 23, 15 yards, first down.
That's a no-brainer from Jaleel Brown. That's the third personal foul on Colorado in this game.
Colorado came into the game giving up 79 yards in penalties, which was 4th worst in the country. They just have to keep their composure to stay in this thing.
You know what we've said coming in, watching this defense has played really well most of the time. 4 out of 5 plays are good. Well, tonight they've still played pretty well, but it's been the personal fouls that have been big plays against them.
They're not good enough to give up 15-yard chunks all over the place, that's for sure. So it's a first down at the 41. Weeden keeps it, not known as a runner, and he takes a shot at the 35, but a pretty good gain on first down.
I like the call, using the feet. Weeden, I don't know how fast he is. We'll find out here in a little bit, but he looked pretty darn quick right there.
Yeah, I agree. I like the call too, Craig, because it's high percentage completion throws they're giving Weeden early in this game. Get him on the perimeter. It's a pass run option. Very easy to execute.
Toston in the game to the left of Weeden, who was drafted by the Yankees back in 02 in the second round, the first player that the recent world champions took that year. Big hit. You hear the pads pop as Marcus Burton collided with Toston. 3rd and 2.
Marcus Burton is a big load middle linebacker, 265 pounds. When he got to school, he was 217 pounds, gained 8 pounds his freshman year, and then all of a sudden, he's put on 40 pounds now the last couple years.
He's from Channelview, Texas. When I first moved down to the Houston area, I was in the 2nd grade, and it's where I got my lunch money stolen, my ice cream sandwich stolen.
In Channelview?
I had to learn how to...
Tough hood?
Yeah, I had to learn how to keep my ice cream sandwich money in my pocket.
Marcus Burton may have stolen it from you and eaten that ice cream himself.
You were bullied as a youngster?
Absolutely.
Wow. 3rd and 2. Toston hit again, falling forward, didn't get it. So good penetration up the middle of the Colorado defensive line there. Marquez Harrod and Marcus Burton hit him. Gundy looking at the chart on 4th down.
Oh, you're going. No question about it. At this spot on the field, it's a little bit of no man's land, maybe out of field goal range. Regardless of that, you try to get the momentum back on your side.
Wyatt Ward is the fullback in front of Toston. Toston, he didn't get it. He was stopped as Sean Moeller for the 2nd time tonight, flying up and making a big 4th down penetration. Promising drive stalled, Craig.
Absolutely. We've seen this defense give up the personal fouls, overcome the 15-yard penalties, and on 4th and short, bone them in the hole.
So Oklahoma State back on defense, down 4.
Welcome back to Stillwater. Colorado leading Oklahoma State by 4. Now in the 2nd quarter, Buffalo's quarterback Tyler Hansen left the game with a right thumb injury. X-rays came back fine. Cody Hawkins came in, marched the Buffs right down the field to score to put him up. I talked to head coach Dan Hawkins, guys, about this. He said he's sticking with Hansen here in the 2nd half. The reason why, he said he played well. I said, Coach, so did your son. He said, yep, Tyler did too. So that's what he's going with. That's what he told me.
Aaron, thank you. Hansen handing off to Stewart, who has just not gotten any room to run tonight. A flag comes in. Here's what we think caused the injury. Boom. Keep an eye on that right hand under the football as it hit the ground. He's pointing to the sidelines. The X-rays were negative, and as Aaron said, Hawkins came in. He was 7-11, but 6 of 7 on the touchdown drive.
Looked really, really good. I mean, just understanding where to go with the football. Bill Young, the defensive coordinator from Oklahoma State, was pressuring him, but he had all the answers. He looked very, very comfortable in that first half.
I'm not sure. I know the coach has the pulse of the football team. Me personally, I would not have changed. I'd have left Hawkins in there.
Because he came in and sparked the team. And
team was moving, doing well, rhythm.
Well, they're moving here because a 15-yard face mask penalty, and Andre Sexton pushes the ball to the 49. Hansen takes a shot and looks short now for Gear. Ball incomplete. Andrew McGee hit him. Gear gets up slowly. There's a face mask on Sexton, the excellent senior linebacker. Reaches in there on Stewart. Has to turn his head. But Stewart is the most impressive player on this offense all year. 7 yards, 4 carries. And there's Hansen stumbling as he pulled out of center.
Interesting on that play there. Hansen at the line of scrimmage, looks out to his right. He sees press coverage and immediately audibles to the fade route. It's where he wanted to go. Kind of trips up on his own legs. Marcus Seamus outside converted his route to a curl. I wonder had Hansen been able to stay up if there may have been a miscommunication there.
Get tangled up with the guard, Ryan Miller. So 3rd and 14. No blitz, but Hansen still flushed and has to fire it incomplete on the sidelines. Only a 4-man rush, but Ceddy Jones, the defensive end, the Leo position they call it, pressured Hansen.
And you know what? I go back to it. I just don't know that Hansen, he's been out. He's had to go in. You're x-rayed. Your head gets out of your way. You lose your mind, your focus on the football game. Jesse, you know, it's been a long time. Minutes-wise, he's been away from the huddle.
But it was halftime. Everybody was kind of in at halftime, sitting down in their stools in their locker room, kind of getting their minds back into it. I don't mind him changing.
8th punt of the night for DeLallo. Cox fumbles it. Ball loose in the Buffaloes. Falling on it inside the 30. Anthony Perkins, who had the interception in the first half, collects his 2nd turnover. After the touchdown return in the first half, the big muff from Cox.
Absolutely. This is one of those where he's trying to make that first guy miss, at the same time catching the ball, moving with his body. And a break for the Buffs offense here now. They come in and let's see what they can do with it.
3 turnovers gained now by Colorado. They forced a fumble on Keith Toston first play of the game. They got the interception later in the half. And now a huge break, getting close to the red zone, driving in for potentially more points.
There's some pressure on this Bucs defense now, already down 4 with a struggling quarterback situation. Hansen, almost intercepted. He threw it in the flat there, and Chinasa had it in his hands.
You know what? This is that smart Bill Young defense. Again, I told you earlier about their experience in the 2nd game of the season against the screen passes. The defensive line is taught here, when the ball's going out of the quarterback's hands, get up and make them redirect the throw and elevate it.
And Bill Young has a history coaching defensive linemen, so you see that coaching is direct influence right there.
Chinasa at 6'5", no trouble batting that down. Hansen on 2nd down, takes a shot for the end zone, loops the ball for Seamus. Touchdown. 28 yards, and they beat Parrish Cox, the man whose muff on the punt set up the drive.
This is as unbelievable a catch as you're ever going to see. It's a post route. The throw gets more to the outside. Watch Seamus turn his head, relocate the football, and literally the ball's right on him as soon as he turns the head around. That is unbelievable.
Seamus now 71 yards receiving as he tries to get the 3rd consecutive 100-yard receiving game. That's something that hasn't happened at Colorado in 15 years. Goodman knocks it through. The turnover cashed in quickly as Hansen goes back off the bench and gets a great catch from the emerging receiver at Colorado. 11-point deficit for the Pokes.
ESPN's College Football Primetime, brought to you by Allstate, proud sponsor of college football and the Allstate Sugar Bowl. Are you in good hands? And the Mercedes-Benz E-Class, one of the most advanced automobiles on the planet.
Stillwater not just home to Oklahoma State, but also ESPN the magazine. Word color, printing it right here. 2.1 million copies, printed, bound, addressed, and shipped in just 4 days. College basketball preview issue on the stands.
Kind of interesting, isn't it? That comes out of Stillwater, Oklahoma.
Yeah, it is.
Who'd have thought?
I don't know. Did you think it came out of Stillwater?
I learned it tonight.
Huh.
There's a low kickoff again. Trouble coming up with it. And a hit taken. Cox at the 26-yard line. Cox just beaten on that touchdown, Jesse.
This is what's called a stock post by Marcus Seamus. You're going to see him look like he's blocking the safety, run the post. The best part about this play is Tyler Hansen sees the safety to the middle of the field, so he throws this football to the outside, protecting his wide receiver from the free safety. This is just as perfectly executed a play as you're going to see.
And Rodney Stewart stepping up, blocking the linebacker, allowing Hansen to throw the ball to the outside.
So now the hole deeper for Brandon Weeden, the normal third-string quarterback for this team, replacing Alex Cate at halftime. A promising drive last time they had it, and a first down throw, and you see the arm strength. He rifled that ball out there. DeMarcus Conner couldn't come up with it. That ball got out in a hurry.
You know, that's energy. That's adrenaline flowing right now by Weeden. But at least they're coming out and they're going to loosen up this Colorado defense, Jesse. I'd go back to the running of it.
I would too. I'd keep running the football. I'll reiterate this again, though. The players around the quarterback have to help him out. That was a catchable ball that should have been caught.
Here's Weeden taking a shot down the field and overthrowing Neum, and Hubbard complaining about something in the coverage. Didn't get a flag.
A little bit of rubbing going on down the football field. Hey, this is a point in the football game where your seniors, and there are a lot of them on this team, 22, that have to step up and they have to maintain composure. 21-10. Hang in there. Don't panic.
No question about it. It is a senior night. This is where the senior leadership has to come out. Those 22 guys need to really rally together.
Is there panic in the play calling here? 2 passes, down 11. 3rd and 10. Buffs bring late pressure. Weeden trying to buy time. Fires downfield into traffic. Incomplete. You can see the arm strength. He was trying to find Blackmon and Jaleel Brown. Another pass broken up.
And you see that Colorado decided to put pressure on him right there, which surprised me because it opened up the chance for what just happened there, the scramble for a play down the field.
Defensive coordinator for Colorado, Ron Collins, did tell us he's going to mix it up on 3rd down. He's going to show big soft zones. They're also going to pressure the quarterback.
So combined, Cate and Weeden now 1 of 13 passing tonight. There's an ugly punt off the side of the foot, and it takes a sand wedge bounce and rolls out of bounds at the 41. Just 33 yards. Tucson, Arizona. The Zona Zoo will be revved up as the Arizona students try to make things loud for Jeremiah Masoli. Huge game with Rose Bowl implications. Both teams controlling their destiny in the Pac-10. Most of you will see that game. See Nick Foles off the loss on the road, but they're a different team at home, aren't they?
Yeah, you know, that 15-6, you're going against an Oregon football team that plays fast. That's what when I think of Oregon, I think of fast athletes.
Harris Cox not on the field with the Pokes defense as the Colorado team takes over. And Seamus collects about a 4-yard gain.
You know what I like about that play? The decisiveness from Tyler Hansen. The second his back foot is in the ground on the 5-step drop, he knows where he's going with the football, and there's no wasted motion.
And you know, you get this sense right now, the vibe of that Oklahoma State defense on their heels. They just don't have that pin their ears back and come after you downhill playing like they normally do.
Not like they did earlier in the game, like what we saw.
Rodney Stewart in the game, and he gets the football. I think if you told us that Rodney Stewart would do nothing, Colorado would give up 4 sacks, a bunch of penalties, and still be leading by 11 points on the road, you'd be shocked at this point.
Well, I think that's exactly what we're seeing right now from Oklahoma State. They're shocked. I don't think they expected this. Mike Gundy and his staff knew the chance was there for it, and that Colorado has shown at times they can play. Doing it tonight.
Buffs need about 1.5 yards on 3rd down. Hansen keeps it. Sidesteps a man and ducks under a tackler, but doesn't get 1st down yardage. Patrick Levine was a menacing presence there. So he's short at midfield.
What do you do if you're Colorado? It looks like they're going to go hurry up, try to keep their foot on the gas.
Wow, Oklahoma State didn't even get lined up, but the fumbled snap turns it over. Let's see if there was a whistle. Was there a whistle before the snap?
There is no play. The ball was not made ready for play. The officials were not in position.
That is a break for Colorado because they tried to go hurry up. The defense wasn't set. The ball wasn't ready. Hansen fumbled it. Sexton recovered it. And now Hawkins will punt it.
And Mike Gundy is saying, wait a minute, the umpire, he backed out of there. There's no way he could have snapped it without the umpire moving out. But that's a significant break.
Hawkins was thinking gamble up 11 in midfield. Could have been a disastrous momentum changer. Instead, Delalo, another one of those low kicks. And the fair catch made this time inside the 20-yard line by Cox. So Oklahoma State will take over, down 11. Didn't get the fumble recovery. A lot of work to do with the BCS at large bid potentially on the line here. Beginning to feel some urgency here in Stillwater. This crowd just stunned. They figured they might struggle a bit without Zac Robinson. Nobody envisioned being in an 11-point hole to a 3-7 Colorado team on their home field midway third quarter. Brandon Weeden, 1 of 4 for 8 yards, hands the ball off to Bo Johnson, who puts it on the ground. He falls on it. Jimmy Smith knocked it loose, but nearly another disastrous turnover.
And you know what? This is one of those plays where, as a running back and you're going down the line, you better have the ball on the outside. I think, Jesse, that he had it on that right hand towards the line of scrimmage. No, he had it on the outside.
Looks like he's got it tucked in the belly pretty good. Great job by Jimmy Smith, though, putting the hand right on the football.
Loss of 2. Toston replaces Johnson in the backfield. Weeden fires, complete, and the roar goes up as Josh Cooper makes just the second reception for the Cowboys tonight. It didn't get a first down. It's got them on their feet again here.
But Brandon Weeden knew exactly where to go with the football. Chappelle Brown was blitzing off the edge.
On third down, Weeden again flips it short, and there's another completion for a first down to him and the tight end. So back-to-back completions, and that's news tonight for the Pokes quarterbacks.
What a great call by Mike Gundy and the staff. Get right back to the line of scrimmage. They boot, come around before the defense can get set up ready for the bootleg.
And when you see teams go hurry up, what do you automatically assume? They're going to run the football. Let's get lined up. Hey, you throw play action, get outside. Wide open tight end in the flat.
It's the 8th catch of the year. Newman moves the ball to the 36. Toston straight ahead for about 5.
You know that Colorado's defense, Chris, is aware of the fact that they've given up 48 plays of over 20 yards. You know, and 30 of those have been by pass, so you better make sure you don't get beat deep, stay back, you know the game.
It's been disproportionate for Colorado on defense. 19% of the plays this year have generated 72% of the yardage.
That's nuts.
It's weird.
But their scheme gives opportunities for big plays, and it does right now.
If I'm thinking about it, you know they better be.
This is Josh Cooper in the flat again. Boy, it's good to have him back and healthy. He's the sophomore from Mustang, Oklahoma. The guy has been out the last 4 weeks with a foot injury. Just back tonight. Good quickness.
Guys, we're watching Brandon Weeden at quarterback right now, and the execution just looks so much better.
I like the tempo as well.
Toston on first down has a crease. Keith Toston headed for the end zone. The final 45 yards of a really quick, impressive, and important touchdown drive for Oklahoma State.
So now make that 49 plays of 20 or more allowed. You know what?
There's our first real big play tonight. Bailey cuts it back to a 4-point game. So he hit 3 in a row to set up that 45-yard run. Weeden did. 6 plays to cover the 82 yards in just 2:25.
Jesse, what happens here is the quick snap. The line is not ready. The defense is not there. Look at everybody here. Look at everybody. You're bunched up. There's 4 in one lane. That just doesn't work.
And the middle linebacker, Marcus Burton, over-pursued the play. And I think the tempo helped cause that. They got lined up quickly. The defense kind of scattered. They weren't lined up and ready. They saw the snap. Everybody beeline to the sidelines. And it was a great job of vision by Keith Toston, putting his foot in the ground and cutting back. And like you saw, nobody in the second level to stop him.
All of a sudden, a lot more energy in Boone Pickens Stadium. This crowd was stunned, disappointed, Watching their chances at a BCS at-large bid slip away even before the big Bedlam showdown. Now all of a sudden, a 4-point game.
And Brandon Weeden at quarterback on that drive helped lead an offense that looked like the offense when Zac Robinson was healthy. Just explosive.
You know who the energy better have gone to now? Bill Young's defense.
Oh, yeah.
Now they've got to go out and step up and stop Colorado.
Different kickoff man here. It's not Quinn Sharp, the regular guy, but the regular place kicker, Dan Bailey, to boot it away. And this kick taken by Lockbridge at the 5. Good coverage. They stop him short of the 20. Cowboys defense back on the field as we check back with Reese.
Chris, every week we honor the ESPN AT&T All-America Player of the Week. Really pretty easy this week. Dexter McCluster of Ole Miss ran wild against Tennessee. A school record 282 yards on the ground, over 300 all-purpose, scored 4 touchdowns, and the Rebs' 42-17 win. You can vote every week. Just text vote to 345-345 on your wireless phone. Enter for a chance to win a trip to the title game.
Reese, thank you. Hard to hear you because now the noise pouring down on this Colorado offense. 2-yard gain for Speedy Stewart. Jeremiah Price on the stop.
You know what, you have to be careful now. If you're looking at this thing, you realize the Oklahoma State defense, they do turn the ball over a lot. Bill Young, he teaches that secondary, those linebackers, they intercept balls at routines. You know the numbers, Jesse.
Oh, he had 14 picks coming into the day. He gives out chocolate bars in practice for guys that make interceptions.
Is that what it takes? Hansen to throw on second down. Has time and flips it over the middle. And Stewart fighting for every yard. He'll need about 2 more for the first down. Levine stopped them.
Well, the 14 interceptions this year, they had 12 the entire season last year.
Yeah.
So the point being here is you don't want to do something that's this crazy offensively. You got to be mindful you're going against a pretty ball-hungry defense.
Ball-hawking defense. There's no question about that. How big is this 3rd down right now for Colorado to try to take some of this crowd energy out of the game?
You run it. They've had no success running the football all night. That's McKnight motioning back into the backfield. Hansen looking to throw, and it's a completion. Seamus to the 34.
It's funny, the 3rd quarter for Colorado this year has actually been the one quarter all season that they've outscored their opponents. They're outscoring them 70-55 this year. And we talked, with the coaching staff earlier, and they said, hey, when we come out in the 3rd quarter, it's when we finally realize, hey, we can stay in these games with our opponents. They get a little gun-shy early, but this is normally the point of the game that they're able to respond.
Hansen looks left, loops it. McKnight. Stiff arm, and he's muscled out of the 40 after a 6-yard gain by Terrence Anderson.
And there is a real deal called pressure. And all of the pressure is on Oklahoma State in this football game. They understand what's at risk here, what's at stake, the BCS at-large berth that they're all shooting for. So they've got the pressure.
And they can't use the excuse of, hey, we were thinking about Oklahoma next week, because they knew Zac wasn't going to play tonight. They knew they had to bow up and get it done.
Stewart tries to bounce it. Hit for a loss. They've been all over Rodney Stewart tonight. Flag is down. Come on, fellas.
A little face mask, maybe.
Personal foul, face mask on the defense. 15-yard penalty, first down.
Didn't give us a number.
It had to have been one of the out wide because it came back from the judge there in the secondary. But you know what? You're talking about not making plays to hurt your defense here. They're usually a lot smarter than this.
And Craig, you had just talked about the pressure, the real pressure that's going in. That's Andre Sexton, outside linebacker, getting the face mask. But, hey, maybe, they're going to halftime. They're down. You start panicking a little bit. Now, 4 penalties now in the second half. They didn't have any in the first half.
It's the second time that Sexton has grabbed Stewart's face mask. Each time it's cost him 15. Moves the ball to the 45 of Oklahoma State. First down throw for Hansen. Down the middle. And a miscommunication there. Seamus cut inside, the throw went outside. Aaron?
And if you guys remember from our conversations with Oklahoma State guys on defense, they told us the pressure was going to be on their group because Zac Robinson was going to be out. They said it's our duty now to help win this game with Zac out. So maybe they're feeling that pressure that they talked about yesterday.
Aaron is a group with 9 senior starters on defense. So one of the most experienced defenses in the country, trying to avoid laying a monstrous egg on senior night. Lockridge in the game. He has a delayed handoff, and Brian Lockridge bangs forward down near the first down marker at the 35.
You know what, defensive tackle Swanson Miller got such a great jump on that play that he almost vacated an entire bubble that allowed the running back to run through.
Which is why I'm fired up about the call, the play call. I'm sitting there saying you got a defensive line that's coming up the field hard right now.
That's the best run they've had all night, Craig. They are now finally in the black, in the plus territory and rushing yardage for the game at 2. Did that 10-yard carry for Lockridge.
And Chris, they still own time of possession in this game.
Stewart back in the game. He's still looking to break his first run. It's only 3.
You're starting to see a little bit of the power running game that Bill Young, the defensive coordinator for Oklahoma State, told us he was concerned about. Pulling guards, getting extra guys at the point of attack, trying to play physical.
Colorado in its last 2 games rushed for 298 yards. So everybody assumed they're going to come in here and try to run the football. And we got a 4th quarter coming up now where this Colorado offensive line has set their pads with the running game a little bit, but they're picking up the blitz.
And a Colorado team playing solely for pride and for their embattled head coach, still holding on to a 4-point lead. Oklahoma State playing for a potential Fiesta Bowl bid, down by 4 entering the 4th. That's the stalwart senior member of this coaching staff for Colorado, Brian Cabral, in his 21st season. And the whole team together with 15 minutes to play on the road. Buffalo is trying to protect this lead and get their first road win since October 2007. Cabral, longest stint as an assistant coach ever at CU, not just football, but any sport.
This is his 302nd game.
So it's a reverse. McKnight wants to throw downfield, and a miscommunication. It was Stewart out of the backfield, and McKnight probably could have run for a few yards. Stewart was not open.
Well, but let me tell you, didn't you first think here comes the run? He had to pull up. And non-quarterbacks, the most important thing you can teach them is when not to throw it or when to throw it away.
I always love to watch wide receivers do that because they always get angry as a quarterback when you don't throw it to them or you don't see them. Then they get to find out what it's like playing the position.
It's interesting there. First play of the final quarter, they try a gadget play. Now it's 3rd and 7. Hansen has protection. All tipped out of there and bounces on the way to Seamus. So Colorado moves the ball, but the drive stalls.
Like you talked about earlier, Craig, this defensive line does a great job getting their hands up. And on that play, Colorado did a beautiful job picking up the pressure, but they know, hey, we can't get to the quarterback. Hands up.
So a field goal attempt, a long one from Eric Goodman, 49 yards. He's got the leg, but beyond 40 in his career, just 2 of 11. And that's kind of the story of the season so far, and of Goodman's career as a long-distance kicker. Had plenty of leg off the upright. And 16 seconds into the 4th quarter, Pokes take over, still down just 4.
Yeah, this is one of those where, you know, you kick it, you hit it really well, solid. Game's a matter of inches. And now can Oklahoma State take that as energy and convert it?
And it's a big miss, Craig, because if he hits that, all of a sudden this is a 7-point game. And a touchdown from Oklahoma State only ties it. All of a sudden now, Oklahoma State gets 1 score, and they're up.
And it's Brandon Weeden in the shotgun. To his left is Kendall Hunter. Hunter's got it. Loses the football. Scramble. Buffalo have it. Michael Sapili forced the fumble, the second for a Pokes running back tonight. Wow, the turnover bug.
Game ball goes to the defense right now if you're Colorado. No question about it. Sudden change situation. You go out and you create a turnover.
And you know what, though? As a running back, these guys here, they try so hard for the big explosive plays. You forget you got to take care of the football.
These are really good running backs, too. And that's the third time now we've seen this defense poke the football out.
Colorado takes over at the 36. See if they can take this gift and build on the lead. Hansen, a first down throw wide for Seamus. He was pressured heavily there by Swanson Miller, the tackle.
So impressed just with the attitude of the Colorado defense. And again, for a team that's 3-7, they just lost to Iowa State last week, 17-10. It knocked them out of bowl contention, but they had 7 3-and-outs in that game. And we talked to those players on that side of the ball, and they said, hey, we feel like we're playing good ball right now.
My mind keeps going back to the West Virginia game we did earlier in the season on a Thursday night, where they really did not play great defense and gave up a lot of big plays. Did well tonight.
On second down, Sumler, kind of the zone read look, not a big part of their package typically, but he picks up 5. Aaron?
Just to add about Colorado's players tonight and the fact their motivation, you know, I spoke to some of the players before the game. They knew that either Zac Robinson wouldn't play too much or there was a chance they would be out. So they were kind of salivating over that. And also their head coach, he's had the pressure on him the past couple weeks, and a lot of guys were saying that they were going to have some inspired play because of him tonight.
You're right, Aaron. He hasn't lost the team. On 3rd and 5, you figure they perhaps have 2 plays to get the yardage, but Hansen can't take a sack. There's a whistle. A flag is down. Something before the snap.
The escapability of Tyler Hansen just on that play alone.
There was no snap. Ball start on the offense. Number 76, 5-yard penalty. 3rd down. Game clocked at 13:56.
Sexton,
13:56.
the linebacker, down on the ground.
Talk about another guy that this team can just not afford to lose right now. And you think about how wild this year has been with injuries, and not just to guys, but to Ori Lemon, the best player on defense before the season starts. Dez Bryant, your best player in the team.
Yeah, he's just been wearing a brace most of the season. It's off tonight. He was healthy, they thought, coming in. We'll check the injury when we come back. Both facing a 3rd and 11. Sexton was in the huddle. You see him on the sidelines now. Here's how we think he got injured. Rodney Stewart blocking him as he came on the blitz there.
Yeah, you know, because it really is good news, because I think initially you were thinking about the leg, but from the right, to see Stewart coming out and the chip block. And Sexton stayed with the play, kept running around the field, and then after it was over.
Empty backfield. Figured Colorado may have 2 plays to get these 10 yards. Hope showing pressure, and they do bring the blitz. Quick throw over the middle, complete. Not first down yardage. McKnight grabs it. Antoine knocked him down. They need about 2 on this 4th down.
Hey, now I know you were impressed with this, Jesse. Hansen gave the line time to figure out where the blitz was coming from and didn't panic the rush, the snap.
And he knew where the pressure was coming from, so he knew where his hot throw was. That was very impressive. That whole play, very impressive by Tyler Hansen.
The pass on the 45-yard field goal. Go for it now. And a timeout spent by Mike Gundy to talk about defensive strategy and a very important play now in this 4th quarter. If they can stop Colorado, get the ball back, momentum continues. Colorado's in scoring position if they can convert.
ESPN's College Football Primetime is presented by Applebee's. It's a whole new neighborhood. And embarked by Chevy and their award-winning cars, trucks, and crossovers.
So the photo of Gundy and Hartley Dykes there, Thurman Thomas's jersey, then the man who took over for him and won a Heisman Trophy. Best college football player I've ever seen in person in my years covering it, Barry Sanders. Big play here, 4th and a long 2, close to 3 yards, empty backfield. Hansen fires, incomplete. They look for Gear, the tight end, well covered. Pressured by Swanson Miller, broken up by Donald Booker. So not a whole lot of confidence in the long-range ability of Goodman. They don't try the 45-yarder, go for it instead.
Here's the thing. I know they didn't get it, so it's late to say this now, but I did not agree with this call. You have to make this a 7-point game. I know Goodman had just missed from an equal distance, but he had plenty of leg, hit the post. I didn't like the call going for it there on 4th.
So Oklahoma State back to work after that impressive touchdown drive in their last possession, pulled them within 4. First down throw for Weeden. He looks down the middle and delivers. He was looking for Josh Cooper, and now a late flag and a senseless hit after the incompletion. Chalk up another major penalty to this Colorado defense's Benjamin Burney for no reason laid out Josh Cooper.
And he's a senior. I just don't get it. You know that they're looking.
After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness on a defense number 42, 15-yard penalty, first down.
But Craig, it's been undisciplined play from this team all season long. They're averaging over 9 penalties a game, and this is what? Your leaders are going out there and making senseless plays.
And he led with his head. Not only was it late, he put his own noggin in there first.
It's a defenseless player. Just let him go.
Ball moved to the 43. 7th penalty for Colorado, and they're about in their average of yards for the season, 80. And yet the defense continues to play well up front.
And it's been those 4 out of every 5 are usually pretty good defensive plays. It's the one bad play out of 5.
Talked about Boise State. On the air tomorrow night against Utah State, 9:30 Eastern time. The Broncos hoping that their former coach, Dan Hawkins, can deliver a big upset, which would knock Oklahoma State out of BCS at large contention and certainly strengthen the case for Boise State. These contenders have been kind of falling away in recent weeks. Notre Dame, USC, getting better and better for the Broncos' chances, but could use a little more help here. Weeden, pump fakes. Wanted to look downfield, has plenty of time, and now delivers once again to Cooper. Chappelle Brown after a 9-yard gain.
That was great coverage by Colorado's secondary. Oklahoma State trying to fake the quick screen and sneak somebody deep, but the cornerbacks for Colorado were not fooled. Brandon Weeden just did a nice job of hanging in, allowing Cooper to get open, delivered a perfect throw.
This has been a problem distance tonight for Oklahoma State's offense. 3rd and short, 4th and short.
Good point, Greg. And you got Weeden in the shotgun with Toston there. They need a little bit more than a yard. They're going to throw for it. Blitz. And wide open is Toston. Toasting CU secondary. And the Pokes back in the lead with 11:24 to play. You want Colorado's defensive season in a capsule? Playing tough, playing hard, senseless penalties, giving up big plays. It's all been right there in the last couple of series. Bailey's still perfect, and the Pokes have a 3-point lead in the 4th quarter with a whole lot on the line, and Toston has a pair of touchdowns. So the Pokes take the lead. 2nd touchdown for Keith Toston tonight, stopping Colorado in a 4th and 2. Then a Mercedes-Benz intelligent move. Good call against the blitz, Jesse.
You're going to see Chappelle Brown in the slot coming on pressure right here. Keith Toston just acts like he's going to block him and just runs right past him on the post route. Nice job setting it up. And there's nobody in the middle of the field. The problem with running cover 0 on defense without a deep safety is if they pick it up or someone runs free, there's no one on the back end.
So they're now 2 big plays plus 20 yards for touchdowns in this half. That makes it 50 on the season that Colorado has given up.
Both of those big plays from Toston, one running and one receiving. No doubt the man who's carried the load for this offense with Zac Robinson out. Lockwood trying to spark CU. He's a very dangerous returner, and he's got a crease. Cuts back against the kicker, and Brian Lockridge off to the races. 98 yards for the sophomore from California.
Is that a great
It worked
shot?
so hard to get the lead back, and Colorado reclaims it.
I'm going to ask you what's on your mind right now. Are you the most surprised at the stop and the start of the speed that he picked back up?
I thought he was going to get walked, but you talk about the fight in this Colorado football team. What better way to show it? You just get gashed on a long play. 3 and 7. You have nothing to play for, right? Don't tell that to these guys.
What's weird is that the regular kickoff guy is the punter, Quinn Sharp, and we talked about how often he reaches the end zone with touchbacks. But Dan Bailey has been kicking off the last couple. Didn't get that to the end zone. And Lockridge makes him pay.
All right, so now Parrish Cox's punt return touchdown has been matched by a Colorado kick return touchdown.
And we'll see what Weeden, Toston, and the offense can do. But first, we'll check back with Reese for Sports Center right now.
Chris, the National League Cy Young winner has been announced for the second consecutive year. It is the Giants' Tim Lincecum. Lincecum led the National League with 261 strikeouts, also threw a couple of shutouts. SportsCenter coming up after the game. Stay current with ESPN News, and they'll give you the latest on the NFL game. The Dolphins and the Panthers. And it's now 14-6. They've just started the fourth quarter. Panthers just kicked a field goal.
A shame that Ronnie Brown learned today is lost for the season for the Dolphins.
I wonder how that affects the Wildcat formation for them, because he's really the main component in that offense. I mean, can Ricky Williams do that? I'm not so sure.
Oh, sure he can.
Play quarterback in the Wildcat?
Absolutely.
Oh, man.
Huh?
Come on, man.
Come on, man.
To steal a bit from Monday night, which we like a lot. Here's Goodman to kick off now. Been an adventurous night with a return game for both teams. Johnny Thomas now near the 30.
This game, college football, is really a game of emotions, isn't it? I think it's what separates it from a lot of the other sports. And when you get a big play like that in a football game where your kickoff return guys pick you up, because most of us thinking in this stadium, uh-oh, Oklahoma State's taking control of this football game, boom, they're back in it.
I'm just so impressed with the fight from Colorado and the pride they're showing. We've seen it on offense, we've seen it on defense, we've now seen it on special teams. They've created turnovers, they've had penalties, but they keep fighting.
Despite all those mistakes, you're right, they have done that really throughout the year. Let's see if they can hold the lead this time. They go back to Toston, nothing doing up the middle. Will Precheck, Rod combining on the stop, along with the guys who's forced him to duty here. Tyler Alice, sophomore, in for B.J. Beatty. Again, this is a defense without B.J. Beatty, without Jeff Smart, two stud linebackers out of the game. Here's a quick throw to Toston on the edge, and he's tackled immediately.
Craig, we were talking about it earlier. This defensive line has played very inspired football tonight. You know, it's been a very underachieving unit this year. They haven't had anybody really stand out and make big plays, but as a unit tonight, they've really imposed their will.
I think the Texas Tech game a few days ago on Saturday against Oak State, their D-line is really good. And they took a lot of gas out of this Oklahoma State offense. Plus, they played 33-plus minutes in that ball game.
Cowboys have still rushed for 200 yards, though, tonight, which is their average.
On the big plays.
They all count. Weeden trying to make a big play here on 3rd and long. Fire is complete. And the catch is made for a first down on the far sidelines. So Weeden was on the run, and Justin Horton, the freshman backup tight end, picks up a crucial catch.
Oh, what a nice throw here. Moving the pocket, getting away from the inside where that D-line you're talking about. Jesse's been having some success losing containment, and it's athleticism. That's that baseball player in it.
It's that scramble drill again by Horton, doing a nice job. He sees his quarterback scrambling to the right, put your foot in the ground, work to get open.
Crazy. It's annoying.
This is Kendall Hunter back in the game. They fake it to him. Weeden makes a shot over the middle, and incomplete. Just flat out drop by Hubert Aneum. The top receiver on this team pointing to his chest. That one was definitely on him.
You heard the crowd get really anxious right there because on that play fake, the cornerback from the wide side of the field bit on the run. It was Jimmy Smith. And Justin Blackmon on the other side of the field was running scot-free down the sidelines. And if Weeden had been able to see that, that would have been a walk-in touchdown.
They had blitzed off the corner down to the wide side of the field and left Blackmon wide open by himself.
They get burned, they just keep gambling. That's what they do. And second down, Hunter shakes out of a tackle and now be smothered for a 1-yard gain.
When you start evaluating, they've been evaluating Dan Hawkins in this program. You can't say their players are not playing hard.
Yeah,
that's a fact.
And you could argue Dan Hawkins and his coaching staff probably has coached as hard this season as they had in any of the 4 years he's been there.
Talking about a group that really has had almost no success on the road unless these guys were a part of the 2007 team. And there's a lot of young, fresh faces. They have never won a road game, keep in mind. More than 2 years. So trying to seal the deal would be a landmark thing. Pump fake. Weeden has time, lobs it down the sidelines, and the catch is made inside the 30 as Ania makes up for the drop a few plays ago.
I would not have blitzed on this. You've got a quarterback that's not a real experienced guy back there, and you're giving him opportunities for plays down the field.
Talk about a game of inches, Craig. That was an inch away from being potentially a deflected pass and maybe an interception. The pressure just about got to Weeden.
27 yards on that play. It is a kind of a philosophical debate against an inexperienced quarterback. Do you blitz the heck out of him? Do you make him make plays against his zone? Weeden scrambles, now fires for the end zone, has a man open, touchdown, Justin Blackmon. And a Pistol Pete style shootout is broken out here in the fourth quarter.
That's the second play on this drive. I thought that Brandon Weeden was dead in the water. He pumps to the screen. He looks back for it. Now he's running. There's nobody open. But you see the natural arm strength and a great catch.
Well, no substitute for having a gun like that on the run. Second touchdown of the season for Justin Blackmon. And Weeden and this Oklahoma State offense rolling now back in front.
Well, it was like their first 9 or 10 balls before they even completed a pass in this game. And they're already up to passing yards now in this football game, nearly 200. They're finding out how to roll and throw it.
See if they kick it deep now. Oklahoma State back in front with 8:11 to play. Touchdown connection from Weeden to Justin Blackmon. 26-year-old former Yankees farmhand coming to life here in the second half in relief of Cate. Didn't complete a pass in the first half. And Weeden, who had a lot of reps in practice, Mike Gundy would point out that all three quarterbacks who got a lot of reps, and so with the up-tempo practice, they felt like either quarterback was ready, decided to go with Cate. And now a squid kick, and Lockridge, who brought the last one back, has to field it inside his 20 and is hit immediately. There's that last drive. Big completion to Ania, who had dropped the ball earlier in the possession.
Just Brandon Weeden doing a nice job just executing, finding his matchups, getting on the perimeter when plays break down, and really his receivers doing a nice job as well, coming back and helping out the inexperienced quarterback.
I think the inexperienced part of it, I think the most thing that's impressing me here is the fact that he's not panicked in the pocket. He sees the pressure coming. He's standing in there. He's faking the pump one way, going back looking the other way.
Hugs for Weeden. Hansen back to work. Once again down by 3. First down throw. Far side. And McKnight can't get away. Just a 3-yard gain.
Keep in mind now, guys, this is an offense that is not built to drive the football 80 yards, 10, 12 play drives. With the penalties this team commits, with the mistakes they've made in the past, this is a big challenge for this offense right now.
And I'm going to go back to the stat that we threw out there earlier in this football game, in case you missed it, that this team, when they've started inside their 20-yard line, they've only scored twice. 1 field goal, 1 touchdown. They don't go the distance.
Hansen fires across the middle, and it's McKnight. Takes a blow, but first down yardage to the 37 before Lucien Antoine laid him out. 17-yard gain.
How about that throw, by the way? Craig, you and I are staring at each other in amazement. You want to talk about big time. Look at this arm strength, the velocity and zip, and where that football's placed.
You know what? I'll go back to this. I disagreed with it. You agreed with it. I thought he should have stuck with Cody Hawkins coming out at halftime. You said you agreed with it. I see why he went back to Hansen.
Well, Hansen trying to get him lined up with some confusion. Stewart. Donald Booker knocked him down. A very frustrating evening for number 5. Has been the best player on this offense throughout the season.
Yeah, he has. But you know what? It's disappointing. But they've gotten it done in a different way than we thought coming into this game, haven't they?
No, they sure have. You see the added dimension that Tyler Hansen brings this offense. In the vertical passing game, it's a big difference.
230 yards passing, only 14 rushing.
As Lockridge had the kickoff return back in the game. But they slip in a little screen, and Seamus able to fight for just about a yard before Levine dragged him down. 3rd and 5 now.
Wrapped up by number 4, Patrick Levine.
Catch for Seamus. Will certainly draw some attention on this important 3rd down. Whistle. Was there a whistle before the play?
I heard one, but it wasn't a whistle from the field.
It was from the stand, so a completion and a 1st down. I thought we were going to get it. Somebody's out there blowing a whistle, and the players did not pay attention to it.
Tyler Hansen certainly did, and I'm glad he did. I mean, 2 people coming off the edge on pressure. Again, the offensive line that's given up so many sacks this year, really doing a nice job figuring this out.
And sacks early in this game. They could not pick them up. They made a great adjustment about the 2nd quarter.
Fumble, ball ripped out of the hands of Demetrius Sumler and recovered by the Cowboys. And Stewart had just left the field, possibly injured. Sumler goes in. Levine ripped it loose, and Parrish Cox, who's had an up-and-down night, recovered it. First turnover for Colorado at a disastrous time.
Yeah, it's not a good time ever for a turnover in this deal, but that's the way they coach them here. Oklahoma State, Bill Young, they teach them to get in there and rip it, strip it.
They say in practice against the scout team, they don't blow the whistle intentionally so that these defenders can rip at the football. He says he's surprised a lot of their scout team offensive players haven't had their arms pulled off yet. And you see that practice and what Bill Young preaches coming to fruition.
So the Pokes now protecting a 3-point lead, taking over inside of 5.5 to play. And they hand it to Toston. And a nice 1st down gain. That's a deflator because they got the 3rd down completion. They were getting near midfield, and Sumler loses the football. Hadn't had a turnover all night.
This is where Oklahoma State wants to be right now. Remember, this is the bread and butter of this football team. Before 2006, Oklahoma State had never led the Big 12 in rushing. They've done it every year since. This is what they do. With the lead, they're going to try to bleed this clock by keeping it on the ground.
I'll tell you what they're going for. The first time that they've ever won 3 straight in the month of November under Gundy, too. That's a big goal of theirs.
I thought someone told me Craig Martin bought tickets.
Toston bumps into folks in the backfield and loses yardage. Spot him at the 40. 3rd and 2.
At this point of the game right now, less than 4.5 minutes left. This is a huge 3rd down for Oklahoma State because if they can convert, they can either A, bleed more clock, or B, they can force some of these turnovers to get used up for Colorado.
Aaron reporting that Rodney Stewart has a stinger. You saw the doctors checking him out on the sidelines. Lead the play clock down. Take it inside of 4 minutes before snapping it on 3rd and 2. Toston hit and shows second effort near first down yardage. The collision with the linebacker John Major. Toston able to spin and go backwards. They'll spot him short, though. They'll need a yard on fourth down.
You know, only one time in this ball game, and it was a big play touchdown, that it's been third or fourth and short, and Oklahoma State has dominated the play. Man, I admire the way Colorado's front seven has come up and played against a short yardage run.
And here's bad news. Maybe the most physical runner Oklahoma State has on the ground right now. You'd like to think on 4th and inches, if they decide to run this football, they'd like to have one of their big power backs. I'd imagine.
Man who hit him paid a price too. Major
yeah,
out of the game.
Yeah, but you see the physical style. It's just the classic zone read inside. It's just mano-a-mano at the point of attack, which Keith Toston wins. He's able to spin out of it and fall forward. You got to think, if he's not in on this play, Bo Johnson, the third-string tailback, weighing 216 pounds, come in the game to try to get you these inches.
Hell, it does. At 3:43 in the game here. So first down certainly puts a lot of pressure on Colorado.
Major getting some playing time because the Buffs are very thin at linebacker tonight, again with B.J. Beatty and their captain, senior Jeff Smart, out with a pinched nerve. So a chance here for Colorado to bow up once again, get the ball back, and if Oklahoma State can convert it, they can continue to just bleed the clock away. And it is Bo Johnson, number 2, then behind Weeden. He's a big quarterback, too. Do they try to sneak it here?
I like the fact they've got a fullback in the game if they want to lead.
They're going to try to throw it. Weeden rolls out, gets pressured and sacked. So a gamble backfires. Colorado, with Tyler Alice making the sack, will take over.
Jesse, it worked now a couple of times in this ball game, and so Colorado's defensive players, they got smart. They realized the bootleg's coming, and they stayed at home with their responsibility.
They're making those adjustments, Craig. You're absolutely right. Look at the coverage, almost anticipating something coming out of the backfield. Conventional wisdom would say power to lead, but again, the defense steps up huge in this football game.
And the Pokes are 0 for 3 on fourth down tonight. Usually it's been fourth and short, unable to convert. So Hansen, 3 timeouts, 3:14 to work with. And they're 58 yards from the end zone. Straight back, fires far side, almost intercepted. Ball took a while to get to McKnight. Terrence Anderson broke it up.
I was holding my breath on that throw. In the pre-snap, you saw Tyler Hansen look out to Scotty McKnight. He saw the cushion, and this is a long throw, guys, from the other hash. I mean, that is an NFL-type throw. If you do not throw this thing outside, you're asking for a pick 6, and that's almost exactly what happened. That was a big gamble by the sophomore quarterback, Tyler Hansen.
Anderson, a guy that's often picked on because Cox is so good on the other side. They said, yeah, he's just played all right this year.
You see he's down here matched up. That's one-on-one with the #1 receiver tonight for Colorado.
Play action. Hansen steps up. A little shovel pass. He tried to get it to Stewart, who wasn't looking. Pressured again by Chinasa. 3rd and 10.
So you got 2 plays to get 10 yards. You agree with that, or you punt it away with? It would be very, very gutsy getting rid of the football.
Now, in my mindset right now, this is the last drive right now for Colorado offensively. I think now you got to find a way. You're in 2-down territory to get this. You do have all of your timeouts, but again, we've not seen a lot of big explosive plays tonight from Colorado. They're going to need to drive this football.
It's Sumler, who just fumbled in the game. McKnight in motion. They fake it to Sumler. Hansen, for once, has time. Takes a shot over the middle. Threw it into traffic. Low throw. Is it a pickoff? No, they say incomplete as Sexton went down to get it. Ruled that it hit the field. So it'll be 4th and 10.
Yeah, you know what? And as soon as Hansen planted his feet to throw, his eyes were being followed by Sexton. Sexton, that 4-year starter, a lot of ball in his background. Goes right for the football.
It's the cardinal sin if you're a quarterback, and Scotty McKnight was trying to work to an open area of the field, but again, as a quarterback, rolling to your right, you do not throw the football back across against your body.
And they're punting it, guys.
Yeah.
DeLallo into punt. Lefty kind of gives it a low line driver to the far sidelines. It'll bounce out of bounds at the 20-yard line, and Colorado's defense will need to make one more stop and start spending those timeouts with 2:45 to go. Well, Jimmy Johnson with the win in Phoenix, just trying to drive into the record books. The 4th straight NASCAR Sprint Cup Championship. The Ford 400 at Homestead down in Miami. Sunday, 2:30 Eastern Time on ABC. NASCAR Countdown begins it. Mark Martin hoping that 48 car has some mechanical problems.
That's all right. They got duct tape over in his pit.
You keep it on the ground here if you're Gundy.
No question.
Let Colorado spend those timeouts.
Toston's back in.
Nine-man box from Colorado right now.
Play clock at 4. Gotta hurry. They didn't see it. Now they call a timeout just before. So Oklahoma State enough to change a possession, burning a first down timeout.
Tell you what, if you're Oklahoma State, you're the best rushing team in the conference. You've been that way for 4 years. Time to prove it right now, right?
And the fact that you are used to keeping the football in the time of possession and the long drives. This is it right here, man. You want to stay as an at-large candidate for the BCS. This is a drive for it.
Been an eventful 4th quarter. Colorado a chance with a long field goal from Goodman to build on the lead, but there's kind of the story of things so far this year. Boink off the upright. Then they go for it on 4th down. Broken up. Oklahoma State went right down the field after that. Helped out by the personal foul on Gurney. And then Sumler, ball ripped out of his hands. And you know, the defense been hanging in there, now asked to hang in there one more time. Predictable call, but Toston able to knife forward for 8 yards. Burton stopped him.
That's that big offensive line up front, imposing their will on Colorado's D-line that time.
I don't know about burning a timeout there. You gave up 8 yards in the first down play. And Hawkins wants to stop it at 2:39, but it seems unlikely they're going to be able to get him to punt here.
Well, his defense has done a very good job on the ground in 3rd and 4th and short situations. Maybe he thinks they can bow up again and give them one more chance with the football.
Well, if you go to this point here, like obviously that Hawkins is, there's that school of thought that you start using those timeouts as soon as the opponent starts running the deal. So you go right, with it.
Don't you think the first down play dictates that, though? You get 8 yards.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm kind of on that deal there. You know, if you're going to go with the timeouts, go ahead and get out there and start using them. Don't let the clock bleed away. You can't get that time back.
Defense has just been so physical that they've proven themselves time and time again tonight. Can they do it again?
Toston, first down.
No.
Nope.
You guys felt there was a gamble, really, to punt it away and not go for it on 4th and 10, and this is why.
I'll tell you what, earlier in the game, if they attempt that field goal instead of going for it on 4th down, this might be a tie game right now.
But Chris, you were pointing out the stats that you're so good at finding there. What's their percentage on that deal? From outside 40.
Well, it was 2 for 12 before that, so it was a factor. Saturday night in Tucson, huge game with Pac-10 Rose Bowl implications as the Ducks and Wildcats both control their destiny. Some of you in this part of the country will see Kansas and Texas as the Longhorns at home. Senior day for Colt McCoy and the other seniors there. Shipley and company try to dodge the upset, and we'll see Texas a week from tonight down at College Station as the Aggies try to spoil everything for their arch rivals.
It's already Thanksgiving?
Almost.
Huh? Come on, man.
Colorado down to just one timeout. And Oklahoma State will continue to just try to bleed things away. Toston again, another first down gain. He dances through the middle and gets 8 more yards. Ernie on the stop, but things look grim if they convert this one more first down. It should be able to bleed the clock.
Well, they're running the football right now, but guys, how about the job Brandon Weeden has done so far in the second half? You got to remember, Zac Robinson's going to graduate, and this quarterback job is wide open, and all of a sudden, he's made a pretty good job here in the second half.
Guys, want to send along condolences while we've had a chance to our colleague Chris Spielman. His wife Stephanie passing away earlier today at their home in Ohio following long and very courageous public battle with breast cancer, more than 11 years. We've done so much good to raise awareness and raise money to fight that disease, and our thoughts certainly go out to Chris and 4 children, other members of the extended Spielman family. Weeden straight ahead on 2nd and 2. It's very near first down yardage.
You know, when you look at the big picture and you look at this football team, Mike Gundy's guys came out. They did not have it going offensively. They stayed the course. They did not panic. Those 22 seniors on this football team didn't allow that to happen. And they kept themselves, Jesse, in contention for an at-large berth in the BCS.
They get this win. It's the first time they will have 6 wins in Big 12 conference play. The job Mike Gundy has done since the day he got here has just been absolutely phenomenal. They've gotten better and improved each and every season.
Here's Toston. Yeah, you're right. They were 4-7. Gundy's first year. There were some grumblings, even though he's a popular guy, a former star quarterback here. But Les Miles moved down to LSU after the 4-7, 7-6, win the Independence Bowl, another 7-6. It's all right, not great, all right. But then 9-4, going to the Holiday Bowl last year. Now a chance to get to a BCS bowl game, something they haven't done, and something the seniors said was a preseason goal. A lot more work to do, and they'll definitely need to get number 11 back at quarterback next game in Oklahoma to have a great chance of beating the Sooners, where, by the way, Bob Stoops has lost twice at home in 11 years.
But don't you guys think Mike Gundy should be a candidate for Big 12 Coach of the Year? When you consider all the injuries they've had this season, what's happened with Des Bryant, all the other guys that they've lost, they've continued to go out and win. I mean, he's done a remarkable job coaching this year. I know you can make an argument for Bill Snyder up at Kansas State, who came out of retirement and now potentially has his team, if they can win this week in the Big 12 title game. But I'll tell you what, Mike Gundy's done an unbelievable job.
Absolutely. He's short list for sure. I've always said that people ask me about Mike Gundy as a coach. I said, you know what, Mike has to win the big game. And like a game like this, you know, that you win it and it gets your program set up for that special year.
Number 72, 5-yard penalty.
Andrew Mitchell, the senior, getting a little anxious there. That'll stop the clock and move him back 5. But our Wrangler 5-star player of the game has to be Keith Toston. 217 total yards, caught the touchdown pass, ran for 172, over 1,000 yards for the season tonight in his final game here at Boone Pickens Stadium.
Well, if I can, I'm going to throw another name in that. Maybe you got another pair of Wranglers jeans somewhere, but Weeden led Oklahoma State to 274 yards and 3 touchdowns in the second half.
Pretty good looking audition for next year's starting quarterback job.
He takes a knee. And for Colorado, they will head home to Boulder with another road disappointment as the drought on the road continues. They'll fall to 3-8. And kind of the story of things for this team. They play hard, but not always smart. And just enough mistakes to get you beat. Nebraska is all that remains in the schedule. A Friday game in Boulder, and will it be the end of the Dan Hawkins era after 4 years? Certainly signs pointing that way. I'd be surprised if they didn't make a buyout at the end of the season, frankly. I'm told the money is there. And Hawkins done a lot of things right, but the wins and losses are just a lot of gut-wrenching losses like this, where he's got to look his team in the eye and know they gave a great effort, but not quite enough. And Gundy, minus his quarterback, just hoping Zac Robinson is healthy for a huge game for this program when they go to Norman. Sooners would be spoilers, and Oklahoma State perhaps a win away from the Fiesta Bowl. Here's Gundy with Heron.
Chris, thanks. Well, Coach, you make the quarterback change heading into the second half. How do you evaluate what Brandon Weeden did for you?
Well, it looks like he played very well, and I thought overall our team really showed a lot of heart tonight. We had a very difficult start, and we made a lot of mistakes turning the football over. But this team has played well all year. You know, we talked during the week about what they have, and, you know, it's just so satisfying as a coach to see them come back and play the way they did.
Why do you think they've been able to handle the adversities and the injuries seems like every game?
I think they're tough kids, and we have great senior leadership, and they've got a lot of values instilled in them, and they believe in each other, and that's what's really important on a football team.
All right, Coach. Well, thank you.
Thanks, Aaron.
All right.
Yeah, should Texas stumble twice against Kansas and at A&M, they'd have a chance to win the Big 12 South. That's not likely. And they'll be underdogs probably down there in Norman, but a chance to play for really big things as the Pokes survive a whole lot of mistakes tonight and rally to beat the Buffaloes 31-28. SportsCenter's up next with John Anderson and Scott Van Pelt. ESPN News will have post-game extra. It's been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For Craig, Jesse, and Aaron, and our entire crew in Stillwater, I'm Chris Fowler. So long for now. ESPN News has more coverage, and SportsCenter coming up next right here.